Hey everyone, welcome to Sunday Night Geekery, issue number 86. And we've got the ever awesome partner in Rocky Crime here, Clobbering Times. Hail Clobbering Times.
Rumble, rumble, rumble. I mean, hello, everybody. Welcome. Hey, everybody.
And we've got Pat S here, who looks like he's Han Solo, I guess, right?
I think that throws you off a lot less than having CPO on there, buddy.
Yeah, I always kept saying C3PO, yep.
Well,
That's right.
That's the real trick, isn't it?
So you must be
Right.
excited about the new
As a captain
Indiana
and a
Jones
general
movie coming out.
in the Rebel Alliance, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day weekend.
Yep, hope everyone has a good Memorial
Yes.
Day. Yep. And we've got Brian Hepburn in the chat, so hail to Brian Hepburn. And we've got the Stream Elements bot. So
Hey,
hopefully
Stream Elements
people will be rolling in. Yeah, that's what we started actually kind of semi on time tonight. It's already 10:10. I always put 10:05 because we know we're always late. So that's kind of the cheat. So
Yep.
I'll tweet it out again in a few minutes. But yeah.
I'll tweet, let me retweet it. Where did you tweet it anywhere yet?
Yep. I
Also, go
I
find it,
tweeted it out,
retweet
yep.
it also.
Yep. I usually do the live one too. Yep. Hey, and Lisa's here. Hi, Lisa. So we're going to talk for six hours tonight about The Little Mermaid, since that's in my poster.
Right.
Oh, and Steve is here. I was doing stuff in the background. We got
Ooh.
Thor here.
Howdy, everybody. Who's my web page is still not loading. I have, there it is. So who's here? Brian Hepburn, the awesome Brian Hepburn.
Hey.
Hail to you, sir. And the wonderful Lisa as well. And with those two cool people, everybody else will be joining us because, you know, they lead the way and people follow them. So
Yep.
Well, it is a holiday
Sure, yep.
weekend. We might have
Yeah.
a low turnout tonight.
that
Nothing
is
perfect.
that is a good point. And I will probably at some point switch to just lurking while I'm cooking, cleaning, and painting Maddie's room.
Cooking.
So
Cooking? What do you cook?
I cook all Maddie's meals.
Okay.
The terrible twos are not a real thing. The
No.
terrible twos are caused by the sudden influx of sugar that people, because around 2 years old, you know, the baby food and all that kind of stuff goes away, and they're like taking them to McDonald's and getting them McFlurries and fries and all this kind of stuff. The terrible twos, in my humble opinion, which I respect, is just bad diet. So
Well, I heard from Maddie that this was the problem.
If I never see another clam,
It'll be too
it'll be too
The clam diet.
Okay.
No sugar and clams.
I'm gonna keep making my joke about Cisco's kid. He was a friend of mine until somebody laughs. If Dad Man was here, he would laugh, or actually, Hungry Boy would laugh. Hungry Boy has my sense of humor, I think.
Well,
And Steve, I don't necessarily want to disagree with you, but as an early childhood educator for many years,
Yes.
I will say this:
Yeah.
for proper brain development, some sugars are needed. So as long as you're not dividing, now I'm not saying that they have to be refined sugars, but as long as she's getting some fruit and stuff, natural sugars definitely help with neural pathways. That is a proven fact, and you can research
Hail
that
the
yourself.
Hungry
Don't
Boy.
take my word for it.
I have
Yeah,
actually.
Hungry Boy.
I actually do research it every day.
Well,
I think that gluconeogenesis would be enough, but she's a child, so I do give
Those
her.
words are way too big for this podcast. I'm out here.
Yep. 15-yard penalty on Steve.
There are essential amino acids, there are essential fatty acids, there are no essential carbohydrates because your body can make glucose itself, and it does. Some more than others. Hungry Boy, did you catch my joke? He had Cisco and Jake on, and I said Cisco's kid. He was a friend of mine, and I just said nobody laughed, and I said if Hungry Boy was here, he would laugh.
Well, here we'll play it again.
I thought Jeremiah was a good friend of yours.
Yeah, but he's a bullfrog.
Oh, good. There you go.
Jake, if I never see another clam,
It'll be too
it'll be too
The
You know,
hatred
Claudia-
expressed towards clams in that episode was just terrific.
And also, doesn't that take place in New Orleans?
Yes, it does.
Yep.
At
So
Cisco's.
kind of everybody's included here. So, but also, Clobby, why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
Why can't we be friends?
I know. I know. I saw you in the CIA. They wouldn't have you in the Mafia. Same group, two war brothers. So 1 second. Before we get into whatever we're going to get into, and God, please don't let it be the Little Mermaid.
Oh, I
Oh, it's
love
gonna
that
be Little
movie. It's
Mermaid.
one of my favorite all-time movies.
Yeah, the original one.
Well, there's another Little Mermaid movie.
No.
Oh, he tasks me. He tasks me, and I shall have him. Marcus, he's baiting you. Wait, what was that from? He's baiting you. That was from the original Star Trek. You're baiting him. When he cut was it they cut off half the power and they cut off the other half.
Journey to Babel.
Thank you, Journey to Babel. Yeah. Anyway, so before we get going, I mentioned how my child was at Disneyland, and Pat S said you're going to have to really
your own dirty work now.
Right.
So you have to work really hard to to keep up with that. This is going to be, if the lights will adjust. This is going to be her door handle when she comes back for her bedroom.
That looks like
Wow,
something
like
from Alice in
chocolate.
Wonderland, dude.
It's exactly what
No.
it is.
Is that? Oh, I thought I was going to say
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. It looked like to me.
Lumiere.
Lumiere.
I can see that. No, but it is in fact Alice in Wonderland.
Mm.
All right, so Pat wins the prize. Yep.
Pat always wins the prize because
He wins the no prize. Yeah.
He tasks me. He tasks me, and I shall have him.
I found it 30 seconds later, but
Stop
Close
tasking
enough.
me. Yeah. Actually, I just need to get his body, but I'm working on it. I just got back from the gym, which is why I look like
there you go.
this. So I need to get.
Well, I did
How do
find
you-
this quote. Not well. I got to play this. This is for Clobbering Times. There's no relation to what Steve is just saying.
Uh-oh.
I clipped this for I don't want to
Uh-oh.
get Thor mad at me.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit. Thank you.
So,
I love this.
Mike,
The two what?
What's
The
that?
two what?
Utes.
Clobby, do you
What
use
is a ute?
secrets?
No self-respect. So they use instant grits.
Instant grits.
But I do.
What
I don't have self-respect. So
I said Southern instant grits. Yeah, yeah.
what were you
Yeah,
saying,
well,
Mark?
Self-respect. So yeah.
I'm glad you found that though. What were you
Pat,
saying?
yeah, no, because well, I was gonna say because you had mentioned that you'd want me to clip that, and I was trying to remember. I'm like, Mike had asked me to clip something. I can't remember what the hell it was. I was losing my brain, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna break down and ask, and of course, in Clobbering Times doing in 2 seconds, you know.
That is one of the perfect clips like ever. Everything that guy just says bullshit.
that whole movie.
I love
that
that
whole
movie.
movie is practically flawless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a ute?
Yeah. Hey, I'm wearing
Yeah.
cowboy boots. Oh yeah, you blend.
I do have a quick Star Trek, excuse me. I have Star Wars on the mind. Star Trek question, since you guys are all here. You might be able to answer this.
Hail Cloud Sailing.
I understand like maybe why
Hey.
people would cook and run a restaurant and not get any money for it. I could even see maybe people being waiters and stuff like that and not getting paid for it. But how do you get someone to wash dishes in big pots of, old gumbo pots and stuff like that for free, just for the betterment of the Federation?
They should have the
That's a hard
technology.
sell.
They should have technology to do that crap.
Okay.
They have
Well,
robots
Remember, they do though.
or
They
androids.
were messing with. Remember, they were all peeling. They always talk about peeling potatoes and plant. Well, they probably have machines that can do that too. They, Jake. I'm sure Daddy Cisco likes to do that organically, but they never show the the dishwashing stuff. I'm sure they just stick it into a replicator or something.
Is it just like
Yeah.
Kirstie Alley comes and shoots it and just leaves a big thing of mashed potatoes there?
That
Like
wasn't
she
Kirstie
did?
Alley. That was Kim Control.
Yeah, she got rid of the pot.
difference.
Yep. But let me
All
say
those
hi to
Fall Guards look
Starships.
greatness.
Hail to Starships of Greatness. Hail to Cloud Sailing, and your
Yep,
Muslim
man.
uncle just rolled in, and
Muslim
Captain
uncle.
James T. Skywalker.
Hey,
Hail
buddy.
your
Hail to
Muslim
everyone.
uncle. Hope your mother is doing well. Hail
Yes.
Captain.
Hope you.
Hail Captain.
Good to see you, Muslim uncle, buddy, and Captain. Yeah,
And
yeah. So
And,
I think they just stick
oh,
them
here I
into a
found
machine.
this clip too. I've been clipping lately, so here we go.
The two Utes.
To what? Did you say utes?
Yeah, two Utes.
What is a ute?
Oh, excuse me, Your Honor. Two youths.
All-time classic.
You know,
Yeah.
every time I see this movie, which is almost perfect movie, you know, I think about the Hollywood system and how screwed up it is. You know, because Fred Gwynn for like what 30 years couldn't get a job because people thought, oh, he's Herman Munster.
Mr. Munster, yep.
And he was so great in that role.
It was his last
The only
movie,
other-
wasn't it?
The only other movie
Yeah.
I remember seeing him before that was Pet Cemetery.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know what else he did.
When he got his Achilles, well, he was in Car 54.
With
Where are
Tasha
you?
Yar.
right, but that Car 54, Where
The
Are
TV
You,
show?
was before the Munsters.
The Munsters.
And I
It was
think
before the Munsters.
because the Munsters was so iconic, you know, Hollywood. And here's my point, and I do have one. A lot of people get typecast, you know, or like as all of you guys know, the original Star Trek crew cast for more than a decade hated Star Trek because they thought it killed their careers, even though we all probably agree that it probably would have no career without it or very limited. Adam West, for a long time, was very resentful of Batman. I think it's my opinion.
They actually were considering for James Bond at one point.
Who?
West, I heard.
Oh, really?
An American? That's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's got the look though, and he's got the look and the voice and the physique.
Yeah.
A handsome guy. Yeah. Actually, Pat, we talked about this before. The first guy ought to be offered James Bond was an American. And it's so weird. I have his book right here. He was a World War II era bodybuilder named Steve Reeves.
Steve Reeves.
Yep. And he was. This guy is the reason
He made a lot of movies.
Yeah, Italian movies. He turned down James Bond, who knew at the time, right? Because he would have had to take a 50% pay cut because he was the highest paid actor in Europe, and I think Sophia Loren was second to him.
Okay. Well, he shall live in infamy, Steve, in a Rocky Horror Picture Show song. So
yeah,
that's right.
That's
true. Steve
Reeves
movie.
But also, anybody anywhere in the world who lifts weights, they owe it to Steve Reeves, because bodybuilders before him were considered to be freaks, idiots, or gay, which in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, being called gay was not accepted at all. And then he came along and he's dating like European countesses and stuff, and he was so good looking that women started saying to their boyfriends and their husbands, "Why can't you look like him?" And
why don't you pump up? We're gonna pump you up.
Yeah,
We're gonna pump you up.
But he was offered James Bond, turned it down, and he was also offered Samson and Delilah.
He didn't want to cut his hair.
No,
his
hair.
He wasn't mature enough for it.
He was. Oh, that's good. That's good. You are the victor of that. Yeah, no, he was. The Cecil B. DeMille said he was too big, and everybody else would. He was 6'2", very muscular. So they got Victor Mature. I don't get it. He also turned down I Can't Whistle, or I would do the theme to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So this guy turned down a lot of iconic stuff and therefore created several careers. So, but my point about Fred Gwynn was that anybody that's read Star Trek memoirs knows that Gene Roddenberry had to try and sell that to all three networks and to CBS twice to get it sold. Nobody wanted in the network wanted Bruce Lee to take his mask off for the Green Hornet because they thought that American audiences were so racist that they would freak out if there was an Asian guy there. As everybody knows, they tried to block the first scripted interracial kiss on television. And they typecast a lot of great actors, and Fred Gwynn is one of them who, he could have had a great career because he was a great actor. So
follow me.
I'll stop.
Follow me, minion.
No, you're right. He was great though. He was brilliant.
He was.
And see me.
And did a great. He did a believable Alabama accent.
Sure did.
Not like Tom Hanks. Oh my God, that's awful. Horrible. I mean, Pat S., you're a Southerner. What do you think?
I think Tom Hanks based that accent on the little kid. because
He
they
based-
wanted the little kid to speak
He
more
based-
like
he-
Tom Hanks, and the
but he
little
did a
kid.
horrible job. He still did a horrible. My opinion. I'm
So
sorry.
fair enough. I mean, I don't think the accent didn't take it out of the movie for me. I'll be honest with you, Steve. I'm
Wow.
not 100% sure what a rural Alabama person sounds like. I grew up in a metropolitan area, you know, so
Yeah.
did you basically. So
Right.
You had
I mean,
electricity and stuff.
I work with a guy from Bayou Battery, actually, where Lieutenant Diane, where that was where the other guy, the guy who died
You've seen it, Diane. Yeah, Bubba.
yeah. Fred Gwynn nailed that accent. It was spot on. That's what it should sound like. I don't want to cast shade on Tom Hanks, but you know his Walt Disney sounded nothing like Walt Disney. And anybody who's listened to Mr. Rogers, he kept his voice kind of high and very soft. He didn't go lower, you know. So
unless you're trying to make a point.
I don't know. I think the
But
worst.
see-
Kevin Costner's the worst all-time accent is Robin Hood. I think
awful.
that's probably the worst.
Awful.
And then he kept turning it on and off. It's like,
yeah, hey,
I
Apollo.
mean, hey,
Yeah.
she drove through Vegas today.
She did. Yeah, you should have texted me today. I
Should
could
have
have
had lunch.
We could have had lunch today. But I get it. I every other time I get it. She's probably like, oh, he's probably got Maddie. He's probably working or something.
No, she just doesn't want to eat Brussels sprouts and boiled
Yeah.
fish. She was like, "I'm going to drive to Clavy and eat some peanut butter M&Ms and fried
There you
stuff."
go.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Actually, I made jambalaya today.
I'm thinking
Oh.
of walk-ons.
Yeah, but
Very nice.
but my point is, the Hollywood executives make such stupid decisions, and typecasting is the dumbest thing ever. You know, a lot of careers were.
George Reeves,
Yeah,
one of the. I mean, he was actually a really good actor, and you know,
I've been
obviously
watching.
he got involved with some bad things though too. But
It's funny because I've been watching. I'm very critical of George Reeves because
what's happening?
We lost someone talking there for a
question.
second. Their interwebs went crazy for a second.
Pat, we didn't hear what you said. You went all electric on us.
Well, buddy, you
Pat?
phased out. That's why you went into a
Oh,
little circle.
It's weird because for me it was you. I heard you say first part of a word, and I went wow.
I do that sometimes.
We're
to mess with
canceling.
you. No.
Our
What was the
opinions
name of
are
the-
canceling each other.
What was the name of the movie with Schwarzenegger where he got famous? Like it was about him working out and getting beefed up and all. And
Pumping iron.
okay,
Yeah, with Franco
Dude,
Colombo. Yep.
who
The
took him
correct-
aside after that and said because I think you might know this. Like, who was the guy that kind of said, "Look, dude, if you want to do Hollywood and you want to be this guy, you got to get rid of the Mo Howard haircut. You got to work on your English and at least kind of softening your accent and all that." Who was that guy?
That was actually before that. It was an unnamed producer that Otto does this to you a lot. Because before that he was in a movie after he won a Mr. Universe contest. And he beat a guy named Dennis Tenorino, an Italian American, and the producer of, you can look this up, it is one of the worst movies ever made, Hercules in New York.
Oh, that's a classic.
Oh, and they have
his voice is great in
and
it.
they have his
voice is
done,
great
yes.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
It's
sounds very
like-
different in that movie.
like they did for Rigno. But yeah.
Oh,
he
Steve,
said-
do you know where Peggy Sue's Diner is? Apollo's minion is said she had steak at Peggy Sue's Diner today.
I did not. How was it, Apollo? I do not know where that is. I don't eat out a lot. I'm a single dad, so I need to start saving and investing and getting stuff set aside for Maddie. Anyway, my Hercules in New York, Brian Hepburn knows, yeah. So, but yeah, Arnold was told that he had to change his name, and a lot of, Michael Keaton's real name is Michael Douglas. He couldn't use that. John Denver, the singer, was John Dusseldorf.
Yep.
And 20 years after World War II.
And his dad's actually was an Air Force colonel.
Yeah, I know he was in the Air Force. I didn't know that, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's ironic.
So
And that way he died in experimental aircraft, actually.
Or did he?
Very sad. Well, yeah, the airplane had a what do you call it? A notification, or when they have a bulletin on the aircraft. I'm forgetting what the term is, but they have it's almost like a car recall, and the this aircraft was usually the switch to change tanks on this particular aircraft is supposed to be between your legs, but the this one, it was a custom aircraft. Is a really cool cool aircraft. Why don't I show it since it's and
Mark, how cool would it have been when he got to heaven if God would have like presented himself as George Burns though? He'd have been like, I know you,
Yeah.
dude.
I know, yeah.
If anybody
So,
gets that joke, you're pretty smart, or a kid who was alive in the 70s and 80s.
I'm sorry. I was reading the chat. What was the joke?
That was a bad joke. It was more
bad
like
joke about George Burns.
What if gods looked like George Burns when Mr. Denver got to heaven? Is what I said.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that would be funny. That would be
so. Yeah, this is really a cool experimental aircraft. A custom, kit craft. And what they had done was they'd put the switch to change tanks. So there's tanks in each wing, and I guess when one tank gets low, you got to switch to the other tank. And he knew something was wonky with the tank, but the switch was actually behind him, so you couldn't really reach it while you were flying. So he actually ran out of gas, and it was kind of a flaw in the design of the aircraft. And you probably shouldn't have been up there. It's not saying he was a bad pilot, but he couldn't find the fuel, get to the fuel selector valve. So it's just like a crazy simple thing. Here's the switch, right? So
now, for those of you
who
don't know why this is so ironic, John Denver, I believe, was high and drove his plane into the side of a mountain.
Nope.
No, he was not high. He was not in Colorado. He was not.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's I'm engineer in me. I love all this technical stuff. And so they had the fuel selector valve was in the spot where here's the pilot seat, and it wasn't supposed to be there. Because it's like a custom built aircraft, basically, or there was a kit built, and they didn't put it in the right spot. So you just run out of gas. You run out of gas in your car. Usually, it's not so bad. But you run out, in the air or doing a maneuver, not so good. Yep. So yep. Random
Mark,
Sunday night geekery aside there.
When you were a kid, did you have like all the cutouts of like the cut in half Enterprise and the cut in half, where you could see the insides of the Millennium Falcon?
I had those. Yeah, I love those. Okay. Yeah,
those are pretty cool.
I love all that stuff. Yeah, I had all the magazines and all the. There was like a National Geographic magazine for kids, I think. What the heck was that called? And it had always had Star Wars articles or Star Trek, or it had a different title, but it was you could sub to it.
Oh yeah, it was part of the whole Scholastic stuff. Yeah, they got together with Scholastic. I mean, that was the big book. But if you guys ever had a book sale as a kid at your school, that was a Scholastic book sale. That's like the biggest book seller in the country. Yeah,
we used to have that. Yeah, Harold and J.T. Kirk.
Harold. Hey, J.T. Kirk and Harold. Some is 28 minutes to bedtime. Well, I'm not going to bed that early, but I do have to march in the parade tomorrow, so I won't stay up too late.
Good chat here.
You need to grab a shot of Lumiere for when Harold, not Lumiere. What was the clock's name? Cogsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what year did Schwarzenegger get on the map popularity wise? What was?
I think it was 80. Pumping Iron.
Conan.
Actually, yeah, it was going to be Conan, which I think was 82.
Here's why I ask. Somebody knew who he was and mistook him for Conan in a comic book in 1978.
1978, he was not famous yet. He had done, I think Mark was about to say this, Pumping Iron, when it first came out, was not that popular. It sort of picked up steam after Arnold's career took off.
This is from What If Conan had visited the 20th century for the What If issue.
I don't see that as looking like Arnold, but it looks like John.
You sure that isn't Arnold Schwarzenegger? Looks more like Sly Stallone to me. Let it be, okay?
Name dropping in the comics, yeah.
Yeah, but
look how contemporary we are.
In 78, who knew who Arnie was?
Not many people. Not as many people, I'm guessing.
Maybe Roy Thomas even then wanted Arnie to play Conan.
Foreshadowing. Yep.
It's possible.
That's interesting because he had done a few things. He had been in Hercules in New York. He had been on an episode of Lucy, not I Love Lucy, but the one after that, Lucille Ball or whatever it was called, where he played like Carlos or something, the massage therapist. He
What,
was,
Lucy show?
yeah, the second one, not the one with Desi Arnaz.
Yeah, he's talking about the one where it was his kids and right.
Yeah, but what year? Lucy wasn't doing any shows in the late 70s or 80s.
In the 70s, yeah.
In the 70s, yeah, not the 80s.
Yeah.
Though. Well,
Not
maybe
the
not
80s.
the 80s,
But
but
he
yeah.
he was on one of Lucy's shows. Wow.
Yeah, it was one episode he played a massage therapist. He played a massage therapist.
Yeah, she
Well,
had
somebody knew who he was.
Yeah, it was so funny. He walked in. He's supposed to be like Swedish or something with that accent.
This was Roy Thomas wanted him to play Conan as early as this.
Well,
Apparently,
he did. Well, I'm kind of in the middle of. He had also.
Let me just mention this. I'm sorry. Just Starships of Greatness wanted to ask if anyone played the collectible card game, and I do not. But I wonder if anyone else did. But
I'm not real good at those things, but I do like cards, so that would be kind of cool. Yeah.
Donnie
and hail
Pearson.
to Donnie Pearson. Hey, Donnie.
Hey, Donnie.
Hola,
Hell,
Donnie.
buddy.
Hope you're doing well, buddy.
What's up, bud?
So anyway,
You think-
he had done a few more TV movies, and he did a movie called The Villain with
Yeah, I remember that.
Kirk Douglas,
Douglas.
And Anne Margaret. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
So I mean, he was around a little bit. He was probably the only big, bodybuilder at the time.
But I would think 84 with Harlan Ellison's Terminator was probably his big breakout.
Oh no, Conan was bigger than that. 80. I know it was Harlan Ellison. Just
I caught that. Yeah,
I totally did that
Conan
just
was
to get
bigger.
Harlan in there, dude.
Yeah.
I love Harlan. I think he's great. Well, I think he was.
I miss Harlan.
Not much anything anymore, but yeah.
That man was something. He was nice to me, but he wasn't nice to too many people.
Yeah.
But yes, Arnie. Well, I think the big coming out thing was though Conan. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as the
I wasn't allowed to watch Conan when I was little. I had to sneak and watch that. But for some reason, it's like, oh, watch the Terminator all you want,
Weird.
Yeah,
That's strange. Well, he wasn't wearing much either. But...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wasn't the only. I mean, pretty much everybody was naked in that movie at one point or another. So,
Personally, I think had the Incredible Hulk not been on everybody's living rooms for like 2 or 3 years before Conan, I'm not really sure how the public would have taken it, because at that time, most of you guys are too young to know, but at that time, when people saw bodybuilders, they went, "Ew, gross, disgusting. They look like they're gonna pop."
So Charles Atlas came along and got rid of that guy and bully for kicking sand in his face in the comics.
Angelo Siciliano, that's his real name.
Oh, Charles Atlas.
Yep.
Wow.
But people were very anti-Italian in those days.
Wow.
And so they changed it to Charles Atlas. Like Arnold was billed as the mark, or somebody said it was billed as Arnold Strong.
Yeah.
Peter Lupus for a while was Rock
Peter Lupus.
Stevens. Yeah, he was billed as Rock Stevens.
What about Dash Riprock?
Dash Rip Rock. Beef jerky.
Remember that?
You know what
Rip
people
Rock from
call
the
him, Mr. Jerky.
Dash Riprock was from the Beverly Hillbillies.
So was Beef
and it was a
Jerky.
band in the 80s too.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yes, sir.
I actually met Max Bear and didn't realize it was him until after he had walked away. That dude is
Wow.
like 6'12". He's a freaking giant. You don't
Yeah,
really
he was great.
notice on the screen. I was probably 6'2" at that time. That dude freaking dwarfed me, even as an old man.
Excellent comedic actor.
Lisa's
Yes.
got to cut out.
All right,
Sorry,
Lisa.
you're so tired, Lisa. I hope we didn't. Well, maybe as Dad mentions, maybe we did our job and put you to sleep. Just kidding. But yeah, have a great day tomorrow, and
All right, Lisa.
get some rest. And
Hey, I could talk about animation. That'll put you to sleep.
and watch out for Fortnite. What, you got to rest those fingers, right? Yep.
Lisa plays Fortnite with you?
Yep, she plays Fortnite. Yep, she's really good. Yeah, it's much better than me. Yeah.
Now, does she only play it for a fortnight, or
No, she plays more than 2 weeks. Yep.
Is that what a fortnight is? Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought
4 nights, 2 weeks. Yeah.
I thought it was 2 days. Son of a gun.
What's a
Nope, 2
score?
weeks. Yeah.
How
7,
British?
9 years. What is a score?
Score.
Is somebody looking it up? I'll look up.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't look things up.
Mark's the numbers guy. I was hoping he would just know it.
Oh, four score.
Yeah.
You're saying like 4 score and 7 years
20.
ago?
Yeah.
20. It's 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 20.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah,
I did
it's
not-
20.
I-
20. Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to- I used to
like
know that.
score. I was thinking of something else, like scoring a goal or like score. But here's Schwarzenegger's movie roles. So here you can see where, like, he was in the public consciousness, I think, a little bit from the bodybuilding, and you just kind of
I
you
forgot
kind
about
of
the
see
villain.
him.
Yeah.
You'd kind of see him, or you'd know him, in the 70s.
Wow,
bodybuilding was
1970?
pretty fun. So it was Hercules
Oh,
in New
that's
York,
old.
which is
Okay,
a total,
yeah.
total disaster movie. Yeah.
Okay. The long
And-
goodbye.
The Long Goodbye, I guess, uncredited cameo. So he must have just been, I don't remember him in that one.
Yeah, that's the Elliot
Since-
Gould to Sam Spade.
Okay.
Remember that?
So
he
he probably
actually
got a
played
small
Sam Spade
little-
in that.
Oh, wow. So he must have a small little role in that. And then Stay Hungry, like we're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, with Jeff Bridges and Sally Field.
Ah,
Yep.
okay.
And,
You
he's
had
not-
to take violin lessons for that.
and then the
Villain was
villain.
funny. That was kind of a goofy ass Hal
The
Needham
villain-
crazy movie, but it was kind
The
of fun.
villain was trying to be the director. I think it was Hal Needham.
Yeah, it was Hal
um,
Needham, all of this kind of stuff. He was
yeah.
trying to be like a cartoon. It was,
Yeah, he was basically trying to do an homage to
yeah,
Looney Tunes.
yeah. It was
There's
Roadrunner.
There's even a horse who like ducks behind a cactus and then sticks his head
Yeah.
out one side. So,
I remember that movie. Yeah, I remember.
Scavenger Hunt. I don't remember that one.
I never
Richard
heard of
Benjamin.
Oh, that was a great movie, wasn't
I
that?
remember that.
Yeah, where they were.
I remember that. I know he
the
was
guy
in it.
from Babylon 5 and Flounder from Animal House is in that. Right?
Flounder. Yep.
Flounders in that one? Okay. Yeah, I remember the movie. I didn't realize Arnie was in it. Dirk Benedict. Wow.
A cameo. It says cameo. So
Dirk
it's probably,
Benedict's in it.
in it for
Oh,
30
man.
seconds or
Cleavon
something.
Little.
it. A lot of names in this.
Big names in there, yeah.
Dirk Benedict, Willie
Wow.
Ames from Ada's Enough,
Eight is enough. Richard Mulligan from Soap.
Scatman,
Roddy McDowell. Wow. Tony Randall.
Scatman Crothers, Ruth Gordon.
Man,
Cloris
brothers.
Leachman.
Kung Fu.
Yeah.
It was almost like a ripoff of Mad World, right? It was different
I
people.
guess.
And the scavenger hunt.
Okay.
people.
Oh yeah, that never occurred to me.
Yeah, Richard
What?
Mulligan was the suit of
Yeah.
armor, and Scatman Crothers like brought him over the line, and so yeah.
What was
It's a
that
world-
show that Richard Mulligan was on?
Soap.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
no,
then he did another one after that.
Empty Nest too.
Empty now. Yeah.
Empty Nest. Yeah.
Yeah. Sean Eastep. Hey, man. Thank you, by the way.
Hey, Sean.
This is Klobby. Thank you for those ships you sent me, brother. Really appreciate that. It's very nice of you.
Oh yeah, I got to show that again. Yep. Let me go grab those. I'll show those. Yep.
You were
Yeah,
Bobby,
that's right.
Bobby will be sending
And-
those to Mark, Sean, so that Mark can put them together for him, and then Mark
I
will
don't
send
know.
it back.
No, my son wants to put them together, and,
Oh,
and so
okay.
does Claude. I would be no good at it, but they want to do it.
Yeah, me either, brother.
I can't. Even though
I
they
can't.
snap together,
I can't do a
do
snap together, dude. I'm that.
it. Me either.
Wow, according to Brian Hepburn, Arnold was in an episode of The Streets of San Francisco.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay.
With Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Wasn't Ant-Man in that? Not Ant-Man, the original
Yeah,
Ant-Man.
Michael Douglas was on that
Michael
show
Douglas,
with
yeah.
Carl Malden.
Carl Malden, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
By the way, while Mark's gone, I'm going to admit this real quick to just you two because I don't want Mark to know this. But I think as an older person now, looking back, I definitely like the first Terminator better than the second one. And I love the second Terminator. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was a great movie. But just that whole science fiction story kind of thing of the first Terminator and seeing it as a little kid, that really just stuck with me. I mean, there's something about that movie that's really a gem to me. You know, kind of like how some
I
people
still like
like
the second one
Alien
better.
better than Aliens.
I think
Some
it's
people
hard.
do, but yeah, I like the second one better.
I think it's hard to make a comparison because
I don't know. I might have to ban Pat S from the stream.
You may have. to
oh,
ban
he
it
was
for a
listening in.
Well, before you do, I'd like to point out that Klobby has stated on many occasions that he likes Temple of Doom better than Lost Ark, and as great of a movie as Temple of Doom is, come on, better than Lost Ark? No way.
Who said
Yep.
that?
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out because but you have really defended like Temple of Doom, right? From people
I
who
love
are like,
Temple
it's a
of
bad,
Doom.
right? It's a
But
good
better
movie.
than who said it was Raiders?
What's that?
Who said it was better than Raiders?
I was kind of playing around. What I
Oh,
meant
okay.
was you really defended
Wow.
Temple of Doom, and I agree with you on that.
Well,
Part.
I mean, no
the
more than
first
anybody
three are
else,
awesome.
but I do love it. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's got its faults, but I still enjoy it. I mean, actually, Last Crusade has faults too, but I really love those. But nothing touches Raiders. I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Now, look at this thing where it says it's got something covering it. Arnie's political career right there. If you don't mind, Mark, I'll put it right back. But
Oh, sure. Yep. Put it. Yep. Go for it.
governorship, first term, second term, opinion polling, LGBT rights, and then it says, does that say girly men?
Yeah. Girly men. Yeah.
Girly men. I mean, what is?
Can you scroll?
Somebody put that there as a joke?
Oh, because
girly men is a pejorative term that was notably used by former governor. Why is that in his IMDb or in his wiki?
Well, because then we can put it in. Wasn't that just on Saturday Night Live? He didn't really say it, did he?
Girly man. He may have said it quoting those guys.
Sarah Palin took a beating because people don't realize that she never said that she could see Russia from her back door. That was Tina Fey in a comedy skit. And then people, oh, she's such an idiot. She thinks that because she could see Russia from her back door.
Right.
It's people can't tell reality from comedy. So
Apollo, don't ever feel bad about that. Raquel understands it and appreciates what you're doing. Just take your time at that. She really appreciates it. I'm speaking for her as her captain, and I know she'd agree with me. Don't feel bad. Yeah, I just thought it was. Why would they put that on this? What idiot put that on there? He is an idiot for the forces.
So cool. Thank you to Sean again for which she didn't have to do when he wrote early birthday present. And there's a video on my channel too. I did an unboxing, which is always fun to do an unboxing. Yes. So he sent the Enterprise NX-01.
We both got ours the same day, I think.
Yeah. Let me get the light on here better.
I might have to do the refit on that one.
I like the refit.
Mark, I have both. And knock all the little strings out, and so you can string some lights in there, so it looks like a real. Yeah.
Look at the refit's beautiful. Wow.
The refit is awesome. Yeah, no doubt.
Well, I remember when you
I love the original, but
you did the Enterprise show, like Defending Enterprise with Raquel, like 3 years ago or 4 years, and I kept saying, "Oh, the refit NX-01 is so," and I'm like, why can't I put I kept putting the link into it, and it was so new on YouTube, I didn't know you couldn't put the link in unless you're a mod. Okay. So then finally, I think Eric K showed it, or. But yeah, there's the refit. So I'd open this up. So here's the
put that one together as that has to be painted. You don't have to, but
it should be. Yeah.
Not that I would be capable of painting it, mind you, of course, but I get Claude to put it together. I might get him to paint it.
But this is an easy paint job on this.
Mark, do you airbrush?
Yeah, I have an airbrush. Yep. But like Clementine, something like this, you could actually even do with a spray can. I mean, rattle can.
No, you mean Claude can do, because you know what?
Well, you got Claude, so you can use Claude.
Yeah, he does all. And I told you, I don't know if I ever told you, Steve. I have one of those beautiful Bowen, the Fantastic Four. I have all the Fantastic Four. Those big, there's the only statues I ever spent money on about 20, 30 years, 20 something years ago. That one I could afford it, and the Human Torch fell about maybe 10 years ago now, whatever it was. He fell off. And he broke, and Claude took it and he fixed it. He was able to, put it back on there perfectly. And because it was kind of, even though I liked the statue, it was kind of orangey a little bit. I always kind of complained there's a little too much orange. He painted it the red that the Human Torch is supposed to be, and it looks better than, and it's fixed. So he did a great job on
it. Yeah, he's a talented guy, right? Yep.
Yes, good artist.
So we got
very cool. Yep. Where's the part that makes it into the refit?
So here's the refit part. Well, first of all, you get this really cool stand with it,
right?
Which is nice. Yep. And let's see,
where's the secondary hull, right?
These are the windows, I guess. Yep. And then the secondary hull, I think, here's the nacelles in here. It's not a really tough kit to put together.
Yep.
It looks like. And I mean, as a kid, sometimes I'd use the rattle can it too sometimes. Yeah. Here's the secondary
there it is, right
hull.
there, secondary hull.
Yep. So it's not that big actually in terms of how it juts down from the, so it's got the neck and so so it's not a huge secondary hull,
That's
but it
very
just
cool.
fits perfectly with the ship. So I guess that must be part of it there. I'm assuming. Yep.
Yeah. If only we got that 5th season. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. So we would have gotten right. It's too bad. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And that must be the pieces there. Yep. I got to start putting that. Maybe I won't go to the beach tomorrow. Just put these together. Huh?
I think you're going to the beach, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you
I'd be in
when you
trouble,
guys
yeah.
I
went
thought you had a
to
parade. But go ahead.
The parade is at 10 a.m. Yep.
Gotcha. What's that?
when you guys would go to hobby shops, would you look more at train stuff, more at model stuff, more
I'll let
Models.
you
geek
guess.
I'm a
stuff?
model guy.
Okay.
I'll let
Yeah,
you
I'm a
guess for
model
me.
guy.
If it's not geekness, I'm probably not looking at it. Nothing against the trains; they're great. and everything.
Right.
But I never could do models. I've done maybe just a couple models in my life.
I like
I painted
little
a Batman one.
figurines. I used to try
Yeah.
to paint them. I wasn't great at it. I could do the base, and then I'd
That's
have
kind of-
friends touch it up. But I
If
loved
could, I'd
loved
start
little
doing
lead.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could, I'd start doing that.
So Sean sent this really cool. Of course, I don't know. Some people say it's the greatest Batmobile. I know
It's not-
Thor
it's
likes
It's not,
second
but it's in the
greatest.
top 5 for sure.
I put it in the top 2, top 3.
Yeah.
It's great. Look, I love it. And you
Yeah.
got Batman. Batman came with it. Huh?
You
That's
got Batman with it too. Yep. So I got the Lego Batmobile now, and
Yeah.
you've got. So Sean, is this? I'm assuming this is a re-edition. I'm assuming this is not from 1989. Silly question, but
That
I'm
would be
assuming
cool.
this is
No, it's
re-released.
an AMT re-release, right?
I'm assuming that. Yeah. So this is really nice. Yep. And my favorite. I get the 66 I love too, but this is more modern. So here, let's open this up and take a look at the Batmobile here. Let's open this package up. We can get them out. Let's see. Let me get my scissors here. And this one's an easy, well, knock on wood. I mean, you can go, there's super talented model makers out there that go crazy. I shouldn't say crazy, but do an incredible job with models. And the painting is the painting and finishing and sealing the model and getting rid of the seams. That's the most important part. So this is it's not. I'm like, wow, this came all in one piece. But yeah, it's really nice size there. And you could paint this matte black with the rattle can if you didn't have a spray gun. If you were trying to do a model, if you're doing this model, you don't have airbrush. Could definitely do it. Yep. And Harold told me 9 minutes till bedtime. Yep. Got the countdown here. Thanks, Mom.
Did the Gatling gun shoot rubber bullets?
I love this Batmobile here. Let's see. Here's Batman in here.
Oh, that's the Arctic variant.
So he needs to be painted. Definitely. Let's see what else. Quite a few pieces in here. Yep. And you got some chrome pieces. Let's check this out. That's gonna look nice. Yep. Let's see here. I'm Batman. Yeah, so you got your chrome pieces over your turbine inlet. So that's the cool thing about this Batmobile. It's got a jet turbine. And Harold says there's only one Batmobile. All of those are fake. So I'm assuming he's old. He probably likes the '66 Batmobile best. I'm
Yeah, 66.
assuming.
Cool.
Yeah. Or maybe the
Animated-
1930s one.
Animated series is a cool one too. If you've ever
Yeah,
seen
that's
the
pretty cool,
actual,
too.
yeah,
It
it's
is.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Brave and Bold cartoon one's cool. I like that one a lot
it is,
too.
yeah.
Here's the
Yes,
canopy
sir.
here. You always got to watch out with the clear plastic.
Good
Don't
night,
get-
Harold.
Good night, Harold. he's timing
Harold wasn't
himself to
kidding.
bed.
He's going to bed. All right.
Yeah, he's going to bed. He's not sticking around. Harold, leave the stream running, please, so I get the view hours.
Yeah.
Thank
Don't
you.
turn it off. Don't turn this off,
Yeah, Harold.
man.
40. But yeah, whenever you paint or you're gluing something like this, you always got to watch the canopies. As a kid, you'd always, or the jet cockpits, you get like glue on your fingers that go on there, and you're like, no, never comes back. Yeah. Looking great. Yep. Let's see here. Yeah, so really nice, some nice details on the kid. I guess I don't know why they didn't cast Batman in black, right? His costume's all black, right? They just had to paint the yellow on him. But yeah, thank you, Sean. That looks gonna be really a lot of fun. A lot of fun to put together. Yeah. Let's see, Michael. Can we get Michael Keaton out of here? That's interesting the way they taped him to the box there. Let's get Michael Keaton out of this. Actually, doesn't he kind of look like Moon Knight from a distance here?
Yeah.
It's Moon Knight. Come on out. Come on out, Batman. There we go. Let's get him close up.
He looks good, buff.
He's been working out a lot for this new movie. He's not just drawn that way. Yep. There's no nothing under there. Yeah, but pretty. That looks like Michael Keaton, right? Look.
Yeah. Sure does. Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Very
I'm
cool.
Batman. He's white.
I'm Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
My kid
Yeah.
would say Moon Knight.
That would be tough. That'd be well, not. I guess not much of a challenge to paint. All you need is black paint and only a tiny bit of yellow, right? And little,
his utility belt,
little flesh color. Like
the symbol's gonna be really
face.
tough to paint. You know, get that symbol with the little the black in there. That's gonna be
right.
That's what's always tough to do is get something when it's that small. You gotta get your brush that's got like two hairs on it and do it. Yeah,
Right.
You can't airbrush that. Yeah, but you know what people do? They I'm not that talented at painting, but they'll do accents and different gradations of black and gray. Throw some grays.
Once you pay him gray and blue. Gray and blue, man. Go with the real colors.
I can do that too, right? Do the real
Michael
colors.
Keaton in the right costume, because that black costume pisses me off.
Yeah, it does look weird.
Yeah.
It is like,
Never
why do
liked
that and then have a bright yellow belt and a...
I never liked it. I would have him painted. I would paint him if I could, to look at the blue and the gray.
I was going to say gray and black. You know how I feel about that.
Gray and blue.
Yeah, you're not far. I'd prefer yours than the all black one.
I like me some gray and blue.
By the way, I think '89 is a fine movie. It certainly was exciting when I was a young man, a teenager.
Yeah.
But I will say this: if you go back and rewatch that, Keaton does not, and the writers, let's be fair, they don't do a great Bruce Wayne though, right?
No,
I mean, it's kind of weak, man.
It doesn't
it's
look like
really
Bruce
weird,
Wayne.
and yeah.
You can pull off Batman to an extent because he's running around in a costume. Although sometimes it looks bad, other times other scenes, if you shoot it right, it's fine.
Yeah,
and his performance is excellent. But yeah.
Well, he does have the personality for Bruce Wayne, although his neck is a pretty pencil thin geek. It's like he's gonna could get beaten up at any second, which is why it looks better in the costume. And it's not like a Bruce Lee, muscular. He's just and not overly massive. He's just a tiny guy. But I think he pulled like that scene with the Joker when he puts the silver tray to use as a bulletproof shield.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great scene. It just his mentality to the role I really like. So I think that's he doesn't physically look like him, but he can play him off as that crazy Bruce Wayne.
But Clint Eastwood did that better.
That's my Zune. I'm getting ready to do. I'm gonna do a repair video for my Zune, which I should have done when the Guardians of the Galaxy was hot, but I got the battery doesn't last. So let's see if we actually play a song here. Oh, Jethro Tull. It's actually working for a few minutes. It doesn't normally.
Mark, you can't get a
work.
replacement battery for it, buddy.
I did. Yeah, I did buy it, so I got to do a
Okay.
video. I was
Cool.
set up to. Was getting set up to do it. Yep. So here we get some. Let's see if it works. Grateful Dead. American Beauty, Box of Rain, that classic song.
They didn't have a speaker. They just gotta have a
Oh, it's
no,
working.
headset, right?
Yeah, it goes. It's got headphone jacks here, and I actually had one of those docks where you could put in a dock. Yeah, I still have the original. I think I showed this a few weeks ago, but still have the original box for the Zune because I don't throw anything out. It's actually a nice box, but it's like as we were saying, like let's make it poo colored. You know, it's supposed to be chocolate, but it's like
And
designed
Mark,
for
I don't know if you saw this or not. Did you see who bested the Beatles, my friend?
who?
You know, the Beatles were like famous for having like the top 5 of the Hot 100.
Yeah.
Taylor
Taylor
Swift,
Swift.
top 10 of the Hot 100.
Oh boy,
She doubled the Beatles, bro.
But I don't know any of her songs. Yep.
Well, I was gonna say, let's be honest here. Do you think there was more music and the music business was more competitive when the Beatles did 5? Or do you think it's the 8 people who do music now constantly?
Yeah.
Somebody was saying that it's like never before in music history have you had these same people for the last 15 years. It's just either her or Drake or Ariana Grande, and they all just swap spots.
Who?
And you know, it's
MMM.
Hail MMM. And hey, Joseph Dredd.
I don't know any of these. Hey, Joe Dredd. Hey, what's up, Joe? Here comes the judge. These people
Hail,
you're talking
Judge.
about.
Cobby, I don't believe you don't know who Taylor Swift is, dude. I mean, I don't know any
He
Taylor
knows
Swift
who Taylor
music,
Swift
but
is.
I know
I
who
couldn't
she
tell you
is.
one song. I know who she is. Yeah.
Okay.
But
She's in the
nobody else.
Little Mermaid movie, right?
Is she?
No, that's Holly Berry from Storm from the X-Men, dude.
No.
And Hungry Boy's got some advice here. Yeah, the 000 brushes. Yep. Double. Yeah, it's like one hair. Yeah,
It's an
and
eyelash.
layering the tones. There we go.
A
Yep.
camel's eyelash. Yep.
Yeah, I've done it before, but that was when I was a teenager and I had good eyes and good hands. It's like God. Let's see how I do with this one. Yep, I'll try. Yep. Oh, they have the gray and the blue suit in the armory for the film ads. Oh, we'll have to check that out.
Nice.
That'd be cool.
Huh?
Yep.
What
Oh,
film
the
ads?
Batman suit in the film ads. They got a gray and a blue suit. Yeah, I thought
that song.
I thought Batfleck was wearing kind of a blue suit in one of the trailers. Yep.
Gray and blue, and blue. The man from Gotham wore the gray and blue. That song. You ever heard that song about Batman Brave and the Bold?
Not that I'm recalling.
The vigilante singing that song, Gray and Blue. Love that song. Sorry.
And Phantom saying spray paint him yellow to make a matte to cover the yellow and spray paint him black. Yep, you can do that too.
Yeah, actually.
Except that the damn thing is so small. Yeah. So, but I'll figure it out. I'll get it. I shall get it.
Somebody posted more pictures.
Wait.
Good.
I'm sorry. No, wait, really do, Cloud. You can really hold on for a second because I just had a pretty decent idea. Mark, if you tape off the emblem and you paint it all yellow, just like where his little circle emblem is, and then you do, and then actually no, if you do that in black, and then you go back and you paint the whole sucker yellow, and then do highlights in black, that might be your best bet.
Yeah, well, it's not something we can do a bunch of tries too because it's so small that in the paint dries pretty
just
quickly.
Dip them in acetone. That'll be good for plastic.
Right?
Oh.
Yep.
32 Flavors of Nick Weiser just sent me a DM. I wonder if I'm in trouble about something.
Uh-oh.
Nick and I said really weird stuff to each other. I'm like, Nick, look at this comic I found. He'd be like, Pat, look at this piece of pizza I ate. You know?
Don't eat clams.
No, I don't.
No.
They're called oysters down here, buddy, and I don't eat those either.
Yeah.
I am about as New Orleans as you get, bro. And a raw oyster to me is just like the grossest thing ever.
Apparently, even in the 24th century, they don't like clams, do they, Mark? Q.
I know. So mad. Yeah, let's Q. Yep. Feel free to play that anytime you want to. Yep. Here, where's my
Jake? If I never see another clam,
It'll be too soon.
But he must have left a mark on him in that boy like that.
Yeah, I can get in trouble for playing that knock on one. Oh, jeez. But is that clip kind of low in the volume? Should I boost the volume on that clip, or it's okay? You tell me.
Seems all right to me.
All right, so your Muslim uncle has a question about this target shooting. I did not have this. I was going to show it. I did not have it. It was in the 70s. I wish I had it. You can buy it on Fleabay. It looked like for about $40. That seemed a little bit cheaper. But this is I think this is what you're talking about. The Star Trek Phaser 2 target game.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was the Mego target game. So let's visit and read about it.
Yes, as I said
I think
countless
that's what you're
times,
talking
I was
about.
very lucky. I had a cousin who was about 8 years older than me, and he gave me all of his 70s stuff. That's how I got a Bionic Man and the Stretch Armstrong and all that
Wow.
stuff.
Nice.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Still love him like a brother, man. Good guy.
So here we go. So the phaser gun is light sensitive and operates best when used indoors in subdued light. The gun will not function properly in bright sunlight. Yeah, so don't go use it outdoors. Yep. So it was a high tech. I remember hearing about and seeing this, and I probably saw it in the store, but I think I'm guessing it was expensive, or I never got it. Yep. So you hit the reflector badge on your friend and activate the sonic buzzer device. So is this like an early prehistoric version of photon or laser tag? I suppose you could say. This Mego phaser game ran on 2 AA batteries and 1 9-volt transistor type battery, and was ideal for landing party combat if you own 2, one for you and one for a Klingon friend. Recommended for children over 3 or over 50 in my case. The Super Phaser 2 target game features some lovely box art. As you can see, a red shirt behind Kirk and Spock is blasting an armed denizen of the planet Charon. Let that be your last battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
That's not exactly politically correct, since the people of Charon are technically extinct
Yeah,
in Trek lore. But that's okay. Look at his face. He clearly was up to no good. So here's the box art. They're already dead, yeah. They're all dead, yep.
Except for the last 2.
Yeah. As you can likely recognize from the photos, my Super Phaser 2 target game is looking a little bit worse to the wear in 2011. I've had this particular toy since I was 6 years old, so I count it as a personal victory that I have the box and the toy have held up as well as they have. I still take the phaser out occasionally. It is stored in the original styrofoam packaging to show it to my son Joel. As of yet, he hasn't shown that much interest in it, perhaps because it doesn't look as authentic as the Playmate Star Trek phasers in my office, which he does enjoy. Actually, the Klingon Disruptor is his favorite. I must admit, the box of Super Phaser 2 target game is one of my most loved features on this particular toy these days. On one side, the box reveals all the 8-inch fully posable Star Trek action figures available back in the disco decade. And then these are some other cool. I have these Mego communicators. I have the Enterprise. I don't have the tricorder cassette player, which would be so cool. And I always wanted the command center, the walkie-talkies. And this is the mission to was it Kamina or Kamara? It's just really cool Mego stuff. Yep. On the other side, there's a tally of Mego's fantastic and much sought after electronic and toy items, including Command Communications Console. Yep. I have the communicators.
Did we lose Mark?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, I hear you, Cloppy. We might have lost Mark.
May have lost Mark. We'll wait
Bobby,
for him till he gets back.
Did you have the vinyl carrying case that was also the transporter? Like,
oh no, hell no!
Yeah, that's this. Yep, okay. I had that.
No,
yep.
I don't have any of it. I wish. Oh no, I did have those blue walkie talkies. I had those. That's the only thing I have.
Those are awesome. Yep. Yeah, so he's still hungry for. So Phantom is enabling me. He said it's $45 on eBay, free shipping with the box. Enabling. Yeah. So that's pretty darn cool. Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see what they got it on eBay. And I think good.
Walkie talkies were so awesome. I still have the Stranger Thing walkie talkies. Did you guys have those? I think they were from Radio Shack or Sears. I know I have one in a box somewhere. I have to look it up. Those things were amazing, man. Get like 4 or 5 blocks distance with it.
Well, be more, but I guess it wasn't a super popular toy either. It probably didn't work that well. So this one's $17 shipping. I'll put it on my birthday list. Yep. Wife will be like, no. Good.
No.
Phaser gun target great conditional instruction. Light gun also works. Huh. So pretty cool. Yep.
Mark, were you a little too old for the home laser tag from Laser Tag Academy? Those black guns with the
And I had all the laser.
Okay.
What was the most popular? Was the one that Retroblasting always plays with? Was that?
Which
There's
one?
Was that brand?
Photon. There's Photon, which was
And then
a corded one, and then the laser tag was the black one with the red outline, and of course the red thing, and that's what I had.
yeah, that's what I had. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
all
were
played that.
big. We were big army players in my neighborhood. Like
Hey,
everybody,
Warrior.
yeah, dressed
Hey,
up.
Warrior of Justice. Thank you for
Warrior of
stopping by.
Justice.
Much appreciated.
What's up,
Yep.
buddy?
Hell,
Thank you
Warrior.
for being here. Yep. Hell. So we're looking at some old Star Trek Star Trek phaser target game. Yep. Yeah, but I did play a lot of the laser tag. My kids played it for years and years and years, even after that. We kind of stopped playing. Then I had all the vests and the hats and the targets. And then they came out with another game that was even like a newer version of laser tag. I can't remember the company, and it was you could actually shoot the guns too. You didn't have to have the target. You could add a target to it, and I think it kind of died out. I don't know. I guess it wasn't as popular for maybe they didn't want kids running around with guns, or they had some incidents on some of the campuses, even though they look pretty fake. But they like my friends were playing at college and they got shut down because too many people were complaining. And this was in the 90s too. So
we played Tag the Assassination Game with
yeah,
with
people
darts.
played.
You guys remember that
people
movie?
played that.
Anthony Edwards.
Yep, people played that a lot. Yep.
But he was in. What was that? What was it called?
Tag the Assassination Game. It was TAG.
Yeah, is that what it was called? I knew he was in some.
Yeah.
I thought he was in some other spy movie.
He might have been, but he was definitely in that. That's back when he had hair. Remember, he was also one of Spicoli's buddies in the van.
He was
on
a
Fast
kid.
Times.
Oh, Pat, dude, what's the deal with your new glass purchase?
Oh yeah.
Let
looked really
me
cool.
update you on that. We're at about 215 with shipping. I'm trying to get him to go to $200 and shipping included. So if I pull that off, but by the way, I was mistaken. I actually have that Shazam glass too, which is good because if I have 4 glasses, guys, then I can
Nice.
turn around and I could sell those glasses individually for about $20 a piece and make about half of it back. So that would be wonderful.
Or you could just send them to me for free.
I could
Just
actually.
kidding.
What I
No,
would
no, don't
probably
do that. No, I'm
because he
joking. I'm
loves them
joking.
so
I'm
much.
joking.
I would
I'm joking.
100% hook
I'm
up.
joking.
I hear you, but I'm not joking when I say this. I would probably hook 24 up with one of those. I'm still waiting for 24 now to tell me which one of those. We went through this big box of comics on his show, and I'm waiting for him to go. I said, dude, you got to go back and watch that show. I don't have time to do it, man. I have like guys, I'm not exaggerating. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get off in a few minutes. I have a doctor's appointment or physical therapy every day this week coming up. I have something going on. And I'm like, dude, I don't have time to go back and watch it for an hour and a half. But I will happily ship it to you. But you got to tell me which one of those books you want. They're in my room. I'm looking at them right now while I'm talking to you guys. But he is a Captain Marvel fanatic. He really is a true example of a fan.
Yeah.
But if I could get those, man, that would be something else. And then here's something else I learned too, guys, that you two probably could have told me this. For the life of me, if you had held a gun to my head, I would have sworn there were not Burger King glasses from episode 4 of Star Wars. I did not think there were. I thought it started with Empire because they just didn't have time to get the merchandising out for that. But somebody sent me a picture of them, and there are definitely 4 glasses, and they're really cool looking from the first Star Wars. But boy, are they expensive.
I never saw it.
Yeah, what some people now call a New Hope, those 4 glasses. And man, are they pricey.
Wow.
And so
What do they look
Brian
like?
Hepburn is saying he had this, sorry to interrupt, but had this Remco controlled space flight USS Enterprise. And I'm going to show your glasses in a second. I remember this. And now this was a pretty common toy, not this one.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They had like a helicopter version. I had one as a kid. Like
it was like Chopper Left. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd spin around, and they had targets that you could pick up. So I had the helicopter version. Of course, it didn't take much to convert it to Star Trek instead of a helicopter. And then I had one that was what it was like on a they used to also have them where it was just like a handle you'd hold and a helicopter blades and like the helicopter would fly around
Oh yeah, and you hold
attached
it
to like
almost like a
with the
kite.
spring, like a kite with the spring. It was so lame.
Yeah.
But you play with it for 30 seconds. Of course, now the kids have fully remote control helicopters. I would love to have this. This is so cool. So cool. The Star Trek version. So
Nice.
I think the fan, the motor is in.
Oops.
I clicked on it, but yes, look at that Star Trek Astro. There's all these
Astro
weird
Buzz ray gun.
Astro tank. They put Star Trek names on.
That thing's Astro.
Silly stuff here. Let's see. I
Wow.
clicked on it, yeah, but they had all this. I have. I love this. The phaser. I have.
Yeah, I see your hair dryer
I have
phaser.
that. I love that. And this I had as a kid, the utility belt, but I lost it because I had at one point. I found the phaser. I don't know where it is. The phaser wasn't as good as this one.
Utility belt.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume there was not.
Look at the Star Trek Frisbee.
There was not just one, but probably multiple Star Trek board games, right? Because everything had a board game back then.
And a lot of these didn't come out till syndication.
Gotcha.
Like when the show started getting big in syndication.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you guys this: it played on UHF in New Orleans well into the mid '80s. Because I remember watching it on WGNO 26 in New Orleans. Yep. I remember it
sparsely.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to see it much in the 70s. Not until after
On
the
MMM
picture came out.
I did get your email. Yep, so I'll definitely get you all that information. Thank you. Yep. Look at Star Trek Astrocopter. There was actually a Micronauts Astrocopter, which is funny.
And I think I told you guys I actually had a friend, my buddy Chris, who I got into a big fight with about Picard. We didn't talk for a few days. He would go every payday. And he started with the original series, and then he went into Next Gen, and he would go to Suncoast and buy this 2-episode VHS. Yeah. And when he found out my nephew was my second to youngest nephew was a big fan, he called him up about 6 months, a year ago. He's like, "Come over, Ryan. I got something for you." And he gave him all those old VHS tapes. And my nephew went nuts, dude. He made a shelf for him and put. He's a good kid. He really loves original Trek and Next Gen a lot.
I think I still have all of my VHS Treks, Doctor Who's, and Blake Sevens and Prisoners.
I got to tell you, Claudia, when you spend that kind of money on it, it must be hard to get away because I distinctly remember because I bought him a couple like for his birthday and Christmas and stuff. They were $19.95, and that's $19.95, and
they were 20. Yeah, they were up there, expensive. Yeah, you're right.
So that'd be like what, $27, $28 a piece now. Yeah.
But at first in 78, 79, 80. I mean, 80 when we got our first big old ass for expensive VCR, it was $80 to buy a movie, and I remember a movie. I got Battlestar Galactica movie for a birthday present.
Yeah,
the first one I got, the Battlestar Galactica movie-ized version of the one that ran the theatrical, which was movie-ized from the TV pilot. So I go Star World. Look at this. This is wonderful.
Is it beautiful? I love that Supergirl. That's such the classic.
They are, dude. Look at the villains. I mean, look
at
everything's great, but yeah,
that Penguin's great. These are all 1970s Pepsi glasses. Now, gang, I usually know a lot about novelty glasses. I don't know a ton about these. I don't know who they were distributed through. Man. I don't know if you bought Pepsi products, if you got one like at a, in a 6-pack, they had like an extra.
It wasn't in the fast food place.
And I have that Green Lantern one, but not the same people. Good, sorry.
Right. A lot of those, everybody kind of credits Burger King, McDonald's, but really the big forerunner for a lot of these glasses was Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
Pizza Hut used to do a lot of novelty glasses.
I got some from Pizza Hut back then.
Yep. And this might have been them because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, isn't Pizza Hut still a Pepsi product place?
I don't know.
Yes.
I've been to Pizza Hut forever.
Yeah.
So,
remember when they had Pizza Hut to go into and eat salad bar?
Oh, yeah.
I used to love their salad bar.
$4.99 lunch buffet, dude, on weekdays. Yeah.
Well, my good buddy Rob, he hated going to Pizza Hut because they had Pepsi. He was a Coke person through and through, and he could not stand the Pepsi.
Down here,
this tastes different. I have to say, Pepsi's sweeter in my opinion. But
I like Pepsi.
I don't want to start a Pepsi versus Coke war on the stream, but I think everything tastes so sweet now that I gave up most of the sugar. I'm like, whenever I have a glass of soda now, I was like, oh my god, this is so sweet.
That's my favorite Supergirl outfit, by the way. The Bronze Age one there. She had a bunch of them.
Yeah, I'm assuming that all this stuff was based on what they were putting in the comics in the 70s.
Well,
These
yeah,
started
yeah.
in 74, gang, just to give you an idea. We ran from about
Well,
74 to about 79, these glasses.
Little Gil Kane. You
Is
got
this
some
Jose
Grell, you got some, yeah.
Garcia
some
Lopez?
of it's no, it's some of it's let's see here. You got CC Beck, Kurt Schaffenberger, you got Kurt Swan, you got Gil Kane, you've got Murphy Anderson, and somehow the Flash's insignia is black for some reason. You got some Carmen Infantino, Batgirl's Carmen. In fact, Batgirl and Robin, and I think even they're definitely Carmen Infantino for sure. Some of them are a little different to pin down. Like actually, Aquaman was actually Grell, believe it or not. Yeah, so.
Oh, it's Grell, yep.
And
Is Aquaman?
Aquaman's Grell. But he didn't do the comic much, but he did that. The Flash is Swanderson, Kurt Swan, Murphy Anderson. Superman's Kurt Swan and George Klein. Captain Marvel is CC Beck, Kurt Schaffenberger, I believe.
And on the glass club, it does say Shazam.
Yes, it says Shazam. They couldn't put Captain
Right.
Marvel in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Just letting y'all know in the chat. But look at this. Look at the Joker glass and the Penguin glass, especially. Those
Joker's amazing.
Yeah.
Who did that Joker? Clubby.
I'm gonna go Infantino. Infantino did, I think, all the ones at the bottom. Definitely sure he did. I'm definitely 100% sure he and Murphy Anderson did Batgirl and Robin, and I'm kind of sure he did Joker. It's kind of tough to see it though, to be fair. But these are all classic poses they've used for other things. They just took the art department just took things, from various poses and stuff. It's not like they were drawn specifically for these glasses or anything. The only Supergirl outfit I really dislike is the pajamas outfit. She had and Grell did a great black manta backup stories. Yeah, he did. That's true. Now they what was it? I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, but yeah. So they use this various different art that are used for advertising, and they just shipped them out. So they put these on the cups. These are all stuff that's either been on comic book covers or in ads. So
these would have been really cheap to buy back in the day, I'm assuming.
Oh,
right, as
I'm
a giveaway.
sure they would be 99 cents, Mark. With
99 cents, right? Yeah.
Oh,
it wasn't like it was more a promotion. They wanted you to have these to sell the comics.
I have a one that's a reproduction of that Green Lantern one that is, but I don't know if my other ones, like my Batman, my Wonder Woman, they're different. My Superman one's different because in the 90s they started doing new ones like this, but they're not the same.
I was going to say, Club, you're 100% right. I don't know if you could ever really complete the set because the Shazam I have is Shazam flying. Like I went and looked at the Shazam. So yeah,
really,
so So they did different ones for different things, but they must have just kept it going. But the stuff they did, I mean, you generally as a kid, probably Robin would be the last one I'd want to get. But that Robin, just how they have him in motion, that's a cool glass. And you can't get away from that. It's really, I think it's one of the best ones on there. I really dig it.
Yeah.
There was a slip of the tongue there. You accidentally said Shazam was flying when everybody knows an old man wizard can't fly. Yeah, I think you meant Captain Marvel was flying.
Yeah.
Exactly. Steve, I can only tell you what's on the glass, buddy.
No, it just
Steve, if you want to get real old school, buddy, technically Superman doesn't fly; he leaps and bounds.
Yes,
the original. No, he does fly later.
Who was the first superhero to fly? Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Yeah.
That's right. Yep. So, and
they should sue Superman.
They did. Well,
yeah. I mean, they sued
each other.
They did sue each other. Captain Marvel, in most ways, was more creative than Superman. It was two different people. Anyway, but I didn't notice, or it didn't strike me that there was a little joke in Fury of the Gods because the second guy to play Billy Batson, the actor Michael Gray, said, You're the greatest Captain Marvel.
You're the greatest, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is my favorite scene in the movie.
I may go buy it now.
You saw it? You watched it on streaming?
No, I've seen clips. I
That's
don't have
and he's wearing the shirt, by the way. You know, he's wearing the red shirt.
the one that
Yep.
they gave him,
That
that the comic book men gave him.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. Hungry Boy. Alex talked to a great. Yeah. Bob Ox. You like Bob Oxford? Good.
I think it's streaming now, isn't it? I think
It
I
is
watched it
on,
on HBO Max.
sure
and now
it
it's
is.
on
now it's Max. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's stream. I didn't like
It's
the
really
movie
not
too
that
much,
good.
but
It's
no.
not. It's
But
not.
that's
It's
like
not.
the best scene is Michael Gray.
Yeah, it was just sad that it was. I was hoping for a lot, but I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just kind of meh. There's a couple of good moments, but CGI fights just.
Is it better than Black
none of-
Adam?
Yeah,
probably
maybe
a little bit.
a little bit. Yeah, I mean it's tough. They're both kind of just sort of middle of the road. Just ran at least. I don't know. It's tough to say, but this
Guys,
one has
I
Michael
gotta
Gray.
tell you, to me,
I know
the
Dr.
Rock,
Fate's kind of cool, but good.
the Rock really showed his colors to me with all that Black Adam stuff. I've come
He's a
to
jerk off.
I've come to understand he is a big jerk. Yeah, let's go with jerk. I want to be careful.
He's a jag off. Jag officer.
He
Well,
still,
listen,
he still tries
gents,
to claim
if
that
I
he's
could-
natural.
If I could tell a quick story before I go, I think you guys will
Sure.
all appreciate this, and I'll post a couple of pictures later on and on Twitter if anybody wants to see. Yesterday, my nephews called me up, the two oldest ones, and they're like, "We're bringing a dog home," and I'm like, "Okay." They were real matter of fact. Now, these guys are young, right? I mean, you're talking like 2021. We got two sets of Irish twins in the family, and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Are you
Well,
allowed to say that now, even if you're Irish?
I think so. I mean, a lot of my DNA, at least according to 24andMe or whatever, is 23andMe says.
Just checking these
24?
days.
Yeah, I went with
24.
24, Steve, because I wanted one better.
I know
I'm like,
you're-
look,
I know
I've
you're
always
Southern.
wanted. If I got an extra chromosome, I might as well go with an extra.
I know you're Southern, dude, but
Yeah. But I'm pretty Irish. I'm not like you guys know who Conan O'Brien is. Conan, they were
Yeah.
saying like,
Yep.
like we've never seen
yeah.
anybody 100% Irish before. This is amazing. He's like, well, what does that mean? They're like, it means you're inbred. It's like people in Ireland were like cousins and stuff when they had you. So, but they bring this dog home. Actually, this story is not funny. So they get home, and it's a little German Shepherd, like a full-blooded German Shepherd, because I have a German Shepherd already. Our 2-year-old's a German Shepherd. And they were driving down, as Steve and Clobby could really picture this good. They're driving through Kenner on I-10, gang. I-10 is about as busy of an interstate as you're going to get, folks.
yeah,
I mean, that runs from
what's time
Florida
of
all
day?
the way to California. It's very well traveled, and Kenner is probably the second largest city in the metropolitan area. So there's a lot going on there. A person stops on the right in the right lane and throws two dogs out of the car
Oh my god.
and drives off. So these two
Instant
guys,
death
That's
penalty.
who I'm very proud of, but also like a little mad at, they stop, get out of their truck. They have one of those Jeep Gladiator trucks and everything. So thank God it's like a real bright color and everything, right? They stop, they get out, and they go after the two dogs. Well, one of the dogs got away. They couldn't get him.
Hey, Cardinalson. Hey,
Oh, hey,
Cardi.
Gil.
Hail Cardi, the most
Yeah.
generous man on
Happy
YouTube.
Memorial Day weekend, sir.
Hey, buddy.
But they get the other dog. The other one was kind of almost all brown. This guy's like mostly black and brown. They get him, pull him into the truck, pull to the side of the road. I am not a fan of calling the police and ratting on people, but I think in this case, because they had to find the other dog, they did the right thing. They called the Kenner PD and the SPCA, and they both came out and met them. And my understanding is that the police are definitely looking for them. I don't know how high of a priority it is for them to
how
find
could they
somebody to do
even
this.
find him?
Yeah, well, because the boys were able to give them. Unfortunately, they didn't. They either couldn't see it or they didn't have the presence of mind, which I do understand, to get the license plate number. But they did get a good description of the car. And the guy from Kinder said he was going to put it on the website and everything and all that. But the SPCA came out and checked the dog, and they were like, "Look, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to take it?" And they were like, "Well, can we keep him?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, you can kill. Of course, if we don't have to take a dog in, you guys totally can." So he's real skittish, though, guys. It's going to take a long time. We're keeping the other bigger dog away from him. And we're each spending time with him individually. I'm going to assume if he was not abused, he was certainly terribly neglected. Yeah, so we got him a bunch of puppy food.
What kind of doggy is he?
It looks like he's a full-blooded German Shepherd. Which is weird, dude, because we have another full-blooded German Shepherd that we went out and bought and paid like a lot of money for. And then this guy we got for free, but I think he's going to need some real work. There's no doubt in my mind he was definitely neglected. He's pretty thin. His ears are real floppy, which they say could be normal when you're that age, but also is a sign of poor nutrition. So, like I said, ultimately, I'm proud of the guy.
Well, you get him back into shape pretty quick.
Yeah,
Yep.
they could have got killed though. The fact that the dogs didn't. So we got to call up one.
And they didn't run into the road either, right? Thankfully.
Right, the dog. Mark, Steven, Claude, you'll know what I mean here. But a lot of the sides of our interstates, there's a lot of ditches and for runoff because we get a lot of rain down here, and there's a lot of those these pipes that go through so that you could drain off not just the road, but so that the ditch can drain off to the service areas and stuff like that. So the other dog ran into one of those. So the SPCA said they were going to try to go out and find him, and they were going to put out little kind of safety traps that he'd get caught in. They put out food for him and stuff in that area. So they said we probably wouldn't be able to find out anything until Tuesday because of the Memorial Day weekend. So we have the lady's number. She's real nice. And we probably won't keep the third dog, but we do have the ability to home him someplace where he will have a real forever home. Talked to a couple of people. We're like, look, don't get excited, but if we can get you a German Shepherd, would you like that? And there are people. If you grew up with certain dog breeds, we were always collie people. And then when everybody got bigger, we're like, let's get a German Shepherd. So that's kind of what we are now. So there are people out there who just love German Shepherds. So
I've had a couple that loved them.
Yeah. Very loyal dogs, man.
When I was a kid, we had one. When I was a kid, really.
Hungry Boy's got a question for me. SSP racers towards event there. Yep. So, but this is, in my opinion, the TTP. Turbo Tower of Power was actually better than the SSP. Now we could have a real big argument about this, but that year Santa Claus was all out of the SSP Evil Knievel racer. So SSPs, I'll sure had a string that you pulled, and then they also had the crank, the Evil Knievel crank. So Santa Claus brought me the Turbo Tower of Power that Christmas, which I ended up loving. I still have all my toys. Someday I got to do a video on that. My favorite toys. Now, of course, I love. Yeah, these were a lot of fun too. These
Mark's
SSP racers.
Mark's almost 50, and he's talking about what Santa should. Who wants to give him the news?
About what?
I tried to explain it for him. He won't listen to me. I've tried to tell him.
Oh, don't make me cry live on air. And this Demolition Derby style, this was a great one. The Smash Up Derby with the SSP. But I had the Turbo Tower Power would just go much faster and farther. So Plaid Stallions, great channels. I'm sure has a cool video on that. But you got to pump you up. So you'd pump this, boom, boom, boom. There was a turbine in here with the air, and you'd get going, shoot, and you'd hear the car spinning, or the motorcycle. There's a car and a motorcycle, and the thing would go crazy, and then you'd jump that sucker. Oh, it was such a good toy. It was just
I don't know. It sounds dangerous, man.
But Mark I still have it. It would fly like crazy. I mean,
Mark had all the dangerous toys.
So good.
Kids. He did. He had a Boba Fett that the missile shot off. He would try to shoot Viper missiles down his sister's throat. He had that thing.
I never did that. No.
Smelted your own metal, lawn darts.
I have this car. I still have this car. It's in the other room. I could grab it. It's on my shelf. Believe it or not. I mean, I have the sucker right there.
Believe it, Mark.
You believe that I have it, right?
No,
I'll be
nobody
right
does not believe you don't have that car.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta grab it.
Pat, we rescued when I was before I met Clobby, we had a stray boxer that was clearly abused because every time we'd pick up a stick in the yard, because Louisiana, you always have sticks falling in your yard.
Yeah.
This dog would this dog would cower like for a year or two, but she became the most loyal, sweetest dog in the world. Dogs who realize they're rescued, they would throw themselves in front of a grizzly bear for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yeah.
I struggle, and I'm honest when I say this. As a practicing Catholic, I have a real problem with the death penalty. I go back and forth. But I think anybody that abuses an old person, a kid, or an animal really ought to have their hands and feet broken with a ball peen hammer so that they can't do it again. You know what I mean? I think there's a special place for you, because what should scare society about people like that is if you'll hurt a dog or a little kid or your grandma, you'll do anything to anybody. You're somewhere between a coward and a psycho, man. I mean, there's really
not even the coward part, just a full on psycho. And and you are if anybody ever did anything to Maddie, you guys would be on the news. They'd be saying, I had no idea Steve was capable of that.
Yeah,
I thought for sure he'd beat the guy up, but I mean, did they ever find all the guy's body parts yet? Well, they're still scouring 4 states.
Yeah, you go. And by the way, all those overpasses that are painted in red, I wonder where that came from. I didn't know Steve could paint that good.
seeing my daughter told a lizard that she loved it a few months ago. She said, "I love you, lizard." Anybody that would hurt that sweetness and that innocence, and I'm not just saying it's Maddie. I mean, it's probably all
children.
Oh yeah,
toddler that is going to be that sweet, that innocent, that trusting. And anybody who takes that away, Mark would get taken off of YouTube if I would say what I would do to them. But
we all would.
I would go like it would be beyond. They'd be like, nah, even temporary insanity won't be enough to get. Steve's going to jail. Steve's going to prison forever. So anyway, is that Evil Knievel?
No, that is not
Evil. The turbo tower power. So this is where the turbine engine would go, and you'd pump it.
You guys hear that? Up.
Let's see if I can get it to go. Well, you can't. So this is the.
Don't break it, dude. I'm trying to show us.
Yeah. I just love that toy. That toy was so good. God, that was amazing. Yeah. It's like the car is in there somewhere. My wife's like, "What are you looking for?" I'm like, "Oh, my turbo tower power car." What?
Yeah, we like
that.
Mrs.
It's
D,
on the shelf somewhere. Yeah. But I do have the car in there, and then so you'd pump that sucker up. But yeah, Plaid Stallion's a great. Yeah, this was the cycle set. Yeah, with the jump, and you had the ramps, and you could roll out all the cars between them. And you try to land on the ramps. The one thing was the front axle would break pretty easily on the motorcycle.
Imagine.
But yeah, and then they had this crazy thing where you could. You put the ramp so you had the car would like ride the rail. It was really weird. It wouldn't work that well. But
I'm sure nostalgically you probably would say the 70s, but what do you think were better, the toys of the 70s or the toys of the 80s? I realized you were more of a little kid in the 70s. So
70s. So that was my decade. I wasn't buying them. But then again, the kids of the 80s would say the 80s, and they have some stuff that they love. So it's hard to blame
there was
them.
some. But because the reason I was asking you guys this, because I'm sure that those of you on the panel might be able to answer this. Why do you think that, like, if you try to collect 80s toys, yeah, you could pay some money for some. Like, if I tried to collect all the Silverhawks, that would cost me a lot of money. It'd be hard to get nice, good, clean ones.
Mm-hmm.
But man, 70s toys. I mean, go try to buy some real Micronauts, some complete Micronauts on eBay or OfferUp or something. Dude, it's 10 times the amount of money than trying to collect the 80s stuff. Do you think it was because 80s stuff was more mass produced? Do you think we really lost that much more stuff in the 70s? Was the 70s stuff made more flimsy and fell apart more? It's a sincere question. I'm wondering if you guys have an opinion on that.
You want to go first, Clyburn Times?
Sorry, I had my.
Oh,
I didn't
oh,
hear the
I'll
whole
go.
question because I had to go.
I'll go.
What was
Yeah,
the question again?
No.
Okay,
I'll
let me
go.
throw it
and
out, Mark, and then you can answer it, and then Clobby can
Yeah,
follow
because
you
I
up.
didn't get to hear the question. I had to
No problem.
turn
My
my phone
question
off.
was, why do you think that the 70s toys are so much more crazily expensive, sometimes 10 times the amount than the 80s? And my speculation was maybe they mass produced 80s toys more, or maybe 70s toys weren't as prolific, and maybe they weren't built as well, and they kind of fell apart. And so that's kind of where I left the question at. So, Mark, if you
what do you
want to.
think?
Well, part of it, I think, it's just 10 years older, right? I mean, depending on the age, right, of what you're.
Yeah, they are older.
So it's older, and I don't know about quantities. I'm not sure. Maybe 70s toys were made in less quantities. I can't. When was the baby boomer generation having
Jonah
a ton of
Hex.
kids? So hey, Jonah Hex. Well, but yeah, that was the one that one-off prototype I heard. Yep. I think it's just probably a combination of older, maybe some scarcity, and some of these toys, like you play with a toy like this, you're trashing this toy. So it depends on what the nature of the toy that's surviving. So
Fair
I
enough.
think I think that's probably, and of course you had if you're talking Star Wars toys, they made gazillions of those toys too, but they got trashed, right? So
Right.
like I see toys sometimes, and I see an X-wing once in a while, or a TIE fighter that someone's got, but you played with with that. And not saying that 80s kids didn't do the same things, but I think some of the 70s toys, maybe too, the nostalgia factor is a little bit higher too for those Star Wars toys, especially that first few years of Star Wars figures and vehicles.
Yeah, that first run, the original 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that 100%. Sure.
I don't want to get the He-Man fans angry at me, but I know some of that stuff goes for quite a bit of money too, but I just don't think there's the as much of a nostalgia factor. There's some of it. Maybe what do you think would be the most popular 80s toy? He-Man, maybe
He-Man's
G.I.
big,
Joe?
Mark.
Star
I'll be honest
Wars,
with you. G.I.
and then
Joe's
G.I. Joe.
huge. G.I. Joe's huge.
He-Man's right up there with
Huge,
him
right?
now.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. No doubt.
I think the biggest thing is obviously, like Mark hit on, they're older. However, if you 80s toys have a much more of a fan following because almost all of them were connected to a very popular pop culture property like Star Wars, G.I. Joe, He-Man,
Transformers.
and Transformer. There you go. All of them were connected to something like cartoons and all that stuff. In the 80s, let's see. Planet of the Apes was a very popular movie and TV series, and there were some toys, but it wasn't quite the same. It inspired the big Star Wars connection thing, but it wasn't anywhere close to the leg with Star Wars in terms of the marketing. Everything else, all these other toys, all the most famous toys of that era weren't really connected to movies or TVs or cartoons so much, not as much, nowhere near as much as the ones in the 80s. So kids grew up. We still like the toys that we had in the 80s, like the Rock'em Sock'em Robots there and all this other stuff. But we could just look at those fondly. Whereas if you were a kid in the 80s, not only did you have the toys to go on, you just got the movies to go with them, the cartoons. Oh, there was superpowers also that were connected to comics. They were multi-connected into this kid, not just your toys, but they were not just your toys. They were also your cartoon, your movie, your comics. They were
your marketing gimmick.
They were bigger. Yeah, they're more a part of it. Whereas again, the toys I liked as a kid, when I did like the Mego superheroes, they were kind of close. The Star Trek toys were a little tie-in, but for the most part, toys were nowhere near as tied in to pop culture properties as they were in the 80s, and never have been since.
Look at the 70s toys here. Yeah,
I would also
no tie-ins. Yeah,
I would also wager that part of it might be because there were many more toy companies in the 70s, and as time went by, they all got bought and acquired by the Hasselhoff brothers or something, Hasbro. And what was the other one?
Parker Brothers.
Yeah, it was the Parker Brothers, although they were mostly the board games.
And some other ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Picasso.
So that's probably
Picasso
has something to do with it too. So you have to speak loud. You have to speak louder. Picasso's a little deaf in his left ear.
Oh,
Like he wasn't expecting that joke.
Too soon, Steve.
Oh wait, that's
Too soon.
not even Picasso. That's
It's not Picasso.
That's Vincent Van
It's
Gogh.
Van Gogh.
That's not
Sorry.
even-
Hey,
Boo.
I corrected myself before you or Hungry Boy did.
right.
So,
That's
I
close
was
enough.
my mind was still on the toy company name. So like
There you go.
there's Light Bright. Did anybody?
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
Language. That's the next one you need to grab. Language.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You do. You already
Yeah,
get that one.
I need that one. Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Did anybody ever notice that in operation, that guy's wide awake?
Yeah, it's the
That poor
torture.
guy, you're taking out his funny bone and his kidneys and stuff, and you know. Who
Light
designed
Bright.
this game? Joseph Mengele?
Who remembers
Uh,
Light Bright? Yeah,
I had
Jonah
it.
Hex does.
I had
it.
Light Bright.
We
I
played
remember the
Light
theme.
Bright.
I
Yeah.
remember the theme song.
Jonah Hex. Do you really?
Yes.
I'm trying
Light
to.
bright making,
look at that.
Things
making
with
light. with
light.
light.
Light
What a
bright.
sight, making things with light bright. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Look at this. Look at these video games we had back in the 70s. This is
Yeah, look at that
this
video
list
game,
is
that's great.
80s, but I remember this being part of the 70s
Yes.
too, maybe.
Hey,
but yeah, the
I'll bet you
Tommy
Klobby.
water toss.
I'll bet you
Mhm.
Klobby remembers being so excited
Hey,
at B. What? What are we doing?
no, said hey. I'm sorry, some rocket like a robot. So go ahead, continue,
Oh yeah.
please.
I'll bet you I'll bet you remember getting so excited when you got a new little carousel for your ViewMaster.
Oh my God, yeah, I love ViewMasters.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I love. Every year we got Rock'em Sock'em Robots and destroyed them and got them again like for a few years straight. There were a lot of toys
This is
like
more
that.
70s toy,
And
wasn't
they
it?
both went to
Robots
and
more
Klobby and
stuff.
his brothers went to Juvie Hall. Nobody knows
Yeah.
why.
The three brothers.
Bobby,
we
You ever
tore
get
our
that
shit up.
vibrating football?
Yeah. The
Oh,
oh my
I never
God, yeah. The electric football game. Oh, it
the
was so.
kicker, like a
It's the
kick?
worst.
Oh, we
It's the
had
dumbest
that.
toy of all time, and we loved it.
We had that. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
You
electric
had,
football.
you, had,
Yeah.
you had absolutely no control over it.
No, you just put them on there, and you had to set them up, and they
You
wouldn't
hope for the
last
best,
too long
yeah.
either, and it didn't
Right.
last too long either.
Yeah.
You know,
And this is the
eventually you got
laser-
board. What?
Sorry, I was gonna say this is the laser tag game that I had. I had the helmet, I had the vest. Oh, this the Pong was.
Mark, you
Nice.
didn't wear that hat, did you? You didn't wear that baseball
I
hat.
had the hats. The kids had. Well, there actually was a baseball hat. This hat, I have all these. I have a box
Okay.
of them in the attic somewhere. But this game worked. I mean, the damn game worked really well. So we played this for hours with our buddies, and then we never had. I didn't have the laser rifle with all the pistols. We never wore this goofy helmet, but the hat we'd.
Okay.
The kids would wear the hat. They kind of felt like superheroes, I think, wearing the hat. But we would wear these vests, and the darn things, they worked. I mean, it worked. It was fun. Yeah.
You know how much you'd sweat in that helmet in South Louisiana, Mark? Those helmets stunk, dude.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Do you guys
Tongue,
remember?
I don't remember that.
Do you guys remember the '70s toy? Because I don't know if I'm imagining this or not, but they were really hard, heavy plastic, and one was a football player, and if you popped his head, he'd kick this football. And the
Oh, I
football
love
was,
that game.
Yes.
What
I
was
don't know,
that
was it a
called?
game, Mark, or was it
Oh.
just a toy?
You
And they had a
toy, you
they had a
kick the
basketball
with
one
it.
too, right? And it would shoot a hoop.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love the
sure.
football
I
player
can't
was the
remember
best one.
I had the football one. I can't remember what it was called now, but I had that one. And Jonah Hex is
If
referring
someone
to
in the chat
Mattel.
could help us find it.
Jonah Hex is referring to Mattel Electronics football. We talked about that here on them
Yes.
before. I love that thing.
Yeah.
That's loved by everyone here, John.
I love that one.
There was a soccer one too, where you could play soccer with the, or it was hockey. Probably it was soccer with the ball. You hit the guy in the head. Yeah, and it was the same thing, and it had a soccer goal, and then
Koosh
one
ball.
person had played the goalie. There was like a stick, and you held the stick, and the other one was the field goal guy, and you try to make the field goals. Yep,
Did you have a
So,
Stretch
uh,
Armstrong and that green Stretch monster?
of course,
guy?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I
You
yeah.
had the Magic 8 Ball, who was always right.
Magic 8 Ball, yeah. That was great.
And there was also a Big Jim. Does anybody remember Big Jim?
I love the Big Jim line. That was for years that we got there.
You bend his arm, it would make a muscle, but it took like 4 kids to bend his arm.
Yeah, he was it was pretty solid. He had he had the rubber exterior like for the his
Yeah.
outer.
It took
Yeah,
about
yeah.
80. It took about 80 foot-pounds to bend that arm to get his muscle. His
He was
bicep.
badass. Yeah, but he had a
Yeah.
lot of cool buddies with him. And if
Yeah.
you look at some of the Big Jim box art, some of it's by Jack Kirby. He did a lot
Really?
of He did some art and ads, especially for and some comics for so did John Buscema and as well. But yes, I love Big Jim.
I gotta tell you though, of all the things my cousin gave me, and I love big GI Joes, like the Big 12. And
the big GI Joes.
I loved the Evil Knievel stuff, but dude, nothing was as cool as Steve Austin, the Bionic Man.
No, it's the best.
And I had the bed. And wait, dude, did you guys know this? There was a like robotic Sasquatch, like a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And my cousin gave me that too, dude. But he's got a panel and stuff in him. So like it wasn't a real Bigfoot. So there must have been an episode where the Bionic Man fought a
He was a robot.
There were 2 Bigfoot episodes. It was a robot. It was an alien robot.
Yeah.
Ted Cassidy played him once, and then Andre the Giant played him.
Andre the Giant played him. Yep.
Oh,
and the funny thing was they had to explain was when they're watching, they had footage of the Bionic Man running on the alien monitors, and they're like, "Why is he running in slow motion on the alien monitors?"
I know.
And then they explained it away somehow. I'm forgetting what it was. Yeah.
Remember Mad Magazine when he's running and this little kid on the bicycle's passing and says, "Mister, why are you running so slow?"
Is that show worth going back and watching? Because I don't remember that show at all.
I love it.
It's fun, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm the dissenting voice. It's so slow and boring to me now.
I love it.
Loved it when I was a kid, but I'm not quite as nostalgic. I'm somewhat nostalgic, although we could change
good stories.
You could change the name of this channel to middle-aged men being nostalgic about their childhood.
Yes, you could.
Hungry Boy, I agree about Pong. It was I could play Pong now if it was an online game. You guys do Fortnite, I'd be calling you guys up. Hey, anybody want to do Pong?
I do that. Yeah.
And you remember? Does anybody remember? You had to hook it up to your antenna, and your antenna reception was worse. But it came with a box with an A/B switch, so you could switch it from watching TV to playing the game.
Yeah.
Anybody remember that?
That was with the Atari 2600
Wow.
too, dude.
Yeah.
Where's Etch a Sketch on? Is Etch a Sketch on this list, by the way?
I haven't seen it yet. We'll see. I have a bunch of Battlestar Galactica toys. In the
Yeah.
budget
Yeah.
game.
Those
Even the one that got banned? You got what?
Oh, sorry, not me. Santa Claus got Maddie an Etch a Sketch for Christmas.
Oh, they're still making them? Cool.
Oh yeah.
You can still get Spirograph too.
They got little bitty
talk
tiny
about
ones.
You can
talk
you
about
can still get
talk
Rock'em
about a
Sock'em
toy.
Robots.
Oh yeah, you can. But think of a toy.
Yeah, I saw those.
But think of this being a toy today, Spirograph, right? I mean, it's a cool toy, but you just draw patterns and shapes. I love playing with the sucker. But could you imagine a kid getting that today? That's more of a '60s toy, I would say too. But
Mark, we grew up with I remember being a little guy and having an Atari 2600 and an NES later. But in my family, dude, board games were huge. I mean, we had tens and tens of board games. Like probably to say we had 100 at one time probably is not an over exaggeration.
Pat S is a Yahtzee sympathizer.
That's right.
Whoa! This phone. Everyone had this phone, and no one's gonna want this phone anymore, right? Because what the heck? People will be like,
"What is that?
What is that? What is?
What is the round part on it then?
It's a rotary phone. No, what's that? What do you do?
My grandmother refused to give her rotary phone up. How funny is that?
Hey, I'd love to have a rotary phone again.
Do you want a princess phone, Steve? Do you remember the princess phone?
Princess phone.
I never knew what that is.
Okay.
I don't have any sisters or anything, so I literally do not know what that is.
Okay.
God, I just use the word literally unnecessarily. Anyone feel free to slap me next time you see me. I'm an embarrassment to humanity. What is a princess phone?
It is a phone that is kind of fancy, right, guys? And it has the earpiece and the mouthpiece.
I've heard of it.
It's kind of turned into it. It looks like an old timey phone in a way, Steve. And it would sit on a little cradle on the top of the phone.
Oh,
and you would pick it up. Yeah,
fancy old. Old. Yeah.
Yeah, Clobby and other guy with that sisters, I think, right, Clobby?
No sisters, so I don't know what you're talking about, really. But
there you go. Well, Mark and I had a sister. Mark was outnumbered, which is probably why he still has all his toys. If you had a little brother, Mark, you
Yeah.
wouldn't have any toys. Trust me.
That's a fact. That is true.
I never thought I was very upset when I love my sister, but when she was born, like they called the hospital, you have a new baby sister. I was crying. I don't want a sister and a brother. Look at some brother. Yeah.
Yeah, but it taught you how to be the protector.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
for
I don't
sure,
know.
yep.
I don't know about that, dude. My sister is very much a girl now and a woman, but dude, my sister would be like, if she found out somebody was like doing something to one of her brothers or messing with us, dude, she was like put out of school 2 or 3 times for like beating up people and stuff. She was a scary kid, Steve. Steve, did you have any siblings? Or
Yeah,
you
2
know-
brothers.
Oh yeah, like me, he had 2 brothers.
Yep,
Oh, there you go.
two older brothers. Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, man, you must have got
Why
the
do you think I
snot.
did the martial arts and the weightlifting and the
I was gonna
wrestling
say,
and the
they must have
boxing?
beat the hell out of you, Steve. Good
Oh,
Lord.
my oldest brother was almost 3 years older than me. So when you're 10 and your brother is like 13, you know, he's like a foot taller than you. And my oldest brother was Clobby. Did you ever meet Dan? Oh,
Yeah,
you met him,
I knew
you met him
Dan.
at Mom's. Yeah, actually,
Like a couple times. I knew Tim a lot. I don't know Tim a lot more, but I met Dan once or twice.
Tim's a good guy. Tim's the hero cop. Dan was the complete opposite. But anyway, yeah. So 2 brothers, no sisters. But I would say that phone that you had with the a minute ago with the face on it and the wheels, Maddie would love that.
Yeah,
I love it, yeah.
But I think I'm going to get her the Rock'em Sock'em Robots because I think she would like that.
Oh
even
yeah,
more.
you'd have fun. You'd have fun with those. Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. She might
Good
like
eye
that.
hand coordination.
They have
brother.
those out there now. Yeah.
Oh,
Work
so
with fine
look at
motor
this
skills.
pet. Look at this,
Oh.
Pettis. This is one of my earliest videos, and you're the first comment on here. This was someone had mentioned John X had mentioned Battlestar Galactica toys, so here I put the link in.
Was that
So
my
this-
recommendation for stickers, buddy?
Yeah, yeah.
My nerd
Well, thank you.
eBay friend that makes stickers. Yeah.
This is the one.
Yeah.
These got banned. Or one of those Galactica toys was.
Yeah,
the darts
with
that
the
they
missile.
shoot. The kid killed himself.
The Viper,
The
right?
kid was
Clobby?
killed, right?
Like shot
What?
it down his
Viper,
throat
yeah.
playing around. Yeah.
Right.
But these are pretty nice toys. Yeah, it's very tragic. Yeah, I think I talk about that in the video. And these were kind of interchangeable too, in a way, which is a nice design. Kind of like not exactly Micronauts, but it was kind of a cool design. You could actually switch some of the
Those
pieces
Vipers are
around in
cool.
these toys. Yeah. So I got those. I got the Viper there.
Lay on the light of the law, the nest of vipers.
I don't
You know,
understand.
not to start trouble, but that's another place where the newer Battlestar Galactica fell short, man. No toys. They released some merchandise, but nothing
They
like
had a
that.
few, I think.
I mean, that was some real play with stuff there. And
Oh yeah.
besides
but
that,
they,
Star
they really didn't have good figures though. They had great models. I had the Viper model and
Yeah.
the
yeah, you're right.
Raider.
The figures are all very
Cylon Raider's cool.
generic-y, Yeah.
He had the nest of vipers.
The nest of vipers.
I did catch that, Clobby, by the way.
Of course, make this town safe for decent people.
Did you have a
Decent
Lauren?
people
Did you
shouldn't
have a,
live here. Sorry, but
did you have a Lauren Green action figure?
I did not. I had Starbuck, and I don't think I had the other one.
Okay.
I don't know if I had a Dama or not. I wish.
I had
But
that
I
dog
had that
and the
couple.
green alien. For some reason, that green alien was really
Yeah.
easy to get. The one with the net.
Right, the Ovion.
Yeah.
And then you had
Jonah Hex is
You had the Daggett. Good.
Daggett was cool. Yeah, I love Daggett. Yeah.
Box. You had yes, Muffet. Dan Aykroyd, that sounds get dangerous 70s. What?
Bagel
Oh,
glass.
Yeah. That was
Johnny
Bag of
Lightning.
glass. That was great.
Was it Johnny Switchblade? It was the Fonzie doll
Yeah,
when they
that
put
kid was-
switchblades in it.
What are you talking about? You give it to a kid, he plays with the glass, you throw it back and forth.
He likes the glass. He likes that was
Oh, you hold it up to the light, you look through it, you get all different colors and stuff. Yeah. Bagel glass.
Great.
Yes,
That was
Bagel
Elwood
glass.
Blues did that.
Have
And
you
you know
seen
what
those? Good.
I was gonna say, you know what the first TV commercial on SNL was? The fake one was, you can now buy a razor with 3 razor blades in one. It was making fun of like the multiple razor blades. So I have the DVD set. First I have I think the first 10 seasons on DVD.
Yeah,
And it's
it was so
hysterical. It's like, imagine a razor with 3 razors in it. It was like they're making fun. Of course, now they have like 4 or 5 in it. Yeah.
saw that
Oh,
Nintendo
Playmobil,
there.
right.
that Steve was talking about Pong. They have I saw a commercial for something. There's this thing you can get called a nostalgia stick that you can hook it up to your TV and it's got like 4,000 freaking old games of every kind of old game ever. I'm like, man, I don't think I might want that. I don't know how much
You
it
never
is.
leave the house, right?
I don't know how much it is, but
Maddie would starve to death.
Blunt Philly.
Hey, Blunt Philly. Yeah, it's very true. But back when SNL was funny. Yeah, I'm gonna get out my Bassomatic tonight.
Yeah, long time ago.
Or the Bassomatic.
Hail
little chocolate donuts, the breakfast of champions.
Yeah, breakfast of champions.
And he's smoking a cigarette while he's eating the donuts.
John Belushi was hilarious.
Yeah, and years later they did make donut cereal too. I was dying.
I eat little chocolate donuts.
Remember Colon Blow?
Colon Blow.
How about which one was the one that was a floor?
Oh yeah, New Shimmer is a dessert topping. It's a floor wax. It's a dessert topping. It's a dessert topping. You cow! No, you two, cut it out. New Shimmer is a floor wax and a dessert topping. That's great. Yeah, it's delicious, and just look at that shine. Oh, that was classic.
You are two wild and crazy guys.
Little crazy guys.
Yeah, my brother Yortok from Yugoslavia, which doesn't exist
Yes,
anymore.
I got in a lot of trouble as a kid one time because I turned to my sister and I went, "Jane, you ignorant slut," and my mother was like, "What? What did you just?"
Where did you hear that?
Is your sister's name Jane?
No, that was I think that was the only thing that saved me because my dad had to like kind of step in and go, Joan, which is my mother's name. Hold on, because my dad would come home like as a kid. I don't know if you guys had this in your city, but in New Orleans, MASH would come on after the news. Like you could watch reruns of that. So my old man would let me stay up and watch that, and he would let me watch SNL, and I would like try to stay awake, till Mr. Bill came on at least because I was a little bitty guy. Oh, no. Yeah, I said that to my sister one time. My mother was like, "What? And my pops had to save my rear on that one.
Anyone have the Nintendo Power Glove?
No, that thing was ridiculous.
I've never seen that.
Did it actually do? What did it do? I mean, I remember when it came out.
No, I could tell you why it's a piece of garbage. This was very much a tie-in to a movie, guys. There was a movie called The Wizard, and The Wizard came out, and it was basically a big, long commercial for Mario Brothers 3. The guy from Wonder Years was in it. What was the kid's name?
Fred Savage.
Fred Savage was in it, and he had a little brother who was like autistic, but he could play video games. And a rich kid had that glove, and what you would do, it really was a controller that you could use to play different games and stuff like that and all. But the problem was that it just didn't work well, and it was kind of
technology back then.
Yeah, weird and bulky. And it wasn't wireless. You had to plug it in, so.
But it had a motion control in it. Would it know if you squeezed your hand or if it?
Yeah, you could. If I remember right, it could do stuff like if you played. I'm trying to think of some of the games you could play with it. Like with sports games, there were certain ones you could throw a ball and stuff like that. You could kind of do capture things and stuff. But overall, it was just.
And there's a joystick on it too, I guess, right?
Yeah, on the side. You're right. You had the little. I mean, keep in mind, if you guys remember the NES, it was just an A/B button and a little.
Yeah, the joystick here.
That little plus symbol that up, down, left, right.
Yeah.
And so you could do it like that, but I mean, I never played with it. I actually had the I don't know if you guys remember the joystick you could get. It was like called the NES Advanced Joystick Controller. That's what I like to play with because it was.
I guess it was before its time, but yeah, they said it worked
very
with
much
Power
so.
Glove and Super Glove Ball and Bad Street Brawler.
Yep.
So interesting. Yep. Tape recorder. Imagine having that now. How many things were replaced by the cell phone, right? Yeah, Fisher Price tape recorder. Yep.
I had a Talk Boy from the Home Alone movie. That was the thing that they made after the movie came out. Glowworm.
Yeah.
You'd squeeze it and it would glow at night and keep you safe.
How about
remember this Rob robot?
Dig of the dog. Anybody?
Was that from Battlestar?
No, Dig of the Dog was a toy from about this era, I think. Maybe it might be older. It might be the 50s, I guess. It was just it was like a basset hound, like a wood made out of wood, like cut from wood.
Oh,
and you would,
yeah.
You would just pull around and it had oblong wheels.
His
that
tail
were
was a
kinda
spring,
shaped like
right,
paws.
Steve?
No, you're thinking of that was you're thinking of the Slinky. The Slinky
No. This
Slinky, the
dog,
Slinky.
his feet would go like in a wheel and like
right.
clap,
Yeah,
clap,
like an
clap, clap, clap.
oblong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Was
remember
his,
that.
maybe his tail was a spring. It's been a long time.
Steve, my first action figures were Weeblos. Do you know what those are?
Weeblos? I thought that was a
Yeah,
Cub
Weebles
Scout.
Wobble. They don't
But
fall
they
down.
don't fall down. Yeah,
No,
they
that's
had all-
that's Weebles. A Weeblo is
no,
like
a wee
junior
no,
Boy
dude,
Scout.
a Weevil's what gets in your cereal if you don't close the box.
No, that's a Weevil with a V. Wow, we're doing like the world's worst "Who's on first." Oh boy!
Right.
Actually,
Here, let's see
Fisher
what-
Price action figures too. Do you guys remember those?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
sure,
different,
yeah.
ride a motorcycle and stuff. And
Fisher Price
Adventure
is still
people.
around.
Classic
It might
70s
be.
toys. Let's see if we get lucky and find another good article. Yeah.
Maddie
Didn't-
has several Fisher Price toys.
Weren't the Fisher Price ones the ones that like they were kind of like a rounded bottom? They were almost completely circular. You could
Fisher
have them, like sit and think.
Probably because Fisher Price was aimed at the younger. So yeah, probably they rounded off the edges and stuff so they wouldn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Because Fisher Price was aimed at like toddlers, like 2, 3, 4, and then you'd get into the games that would take your eye out.
Oh wow, Brian still got his Rob. Wow, that's impressive.
That's pretty
Excuse
cool.
me? Because what?
His Rob
His
robot.
Rob Robot. Yep.
Oh, I don't.
Brian, what was the robot's name for the NES that you had? And it could like
I remember that robot. Yeah, what the heck was that? That was pretty popular, wasn't it? Yeah.
I always wanted that robot from Rocky 3 that said "Happy Birthday, Polly." That.
Oh my God!
He erased it from the director's cut. That robot from Rocky.
Did he really?
Rocky.
Oh, yeah, he
Why?
did.
Yeah, he got rid of
Because
it.
because it was annoying.
So stupid. Yeah.
It was. I think
Speaking
somebody
spell,
got paid
that was
for-
an amazing game.
There were robots. Do you remember the robot from Space Camp? It was just like 3 wheels and a and a periscope head. That's all it was.
I don't even remember Space Camp.
You remember?
I know
Space
the
Camp?
movie, but I've heard of it, but never watched it.
Okay.
Kate Capshaw was in that, right?
Oh,
Lee,
Kate Capshaw.
the
Oh.
chick from Howard the Duck was in it.
Oh, I thought it was Kate Capshaw.
No, I think Kate Capshaw was in a.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably meet her in a couple of months. They're at the Salt Lake Comic Con.
Leah something.
Leah Thompson.
Thank you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Howard the Duck ruined her career. Yeah.
Did it?
I love Hungry Boy's comment about the plastic slinkies are not real slinkies. They must be deadly.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Brian Hepburn saying, "Oh, Rob is that is the toy from the okay." Yeah, I was mixing them up. Yeah, so that is the toy from the NES. Yeah.
Either Brian Hepburn or Jonah Hex a minute ago was talking about the yo-yo. Does anybody know where the yo-yo originally comes from?
Japan.
From Yo-Yo Ma, he invented it.
Yes, a violin and a yo-yo.
Yo-yo. I don't think it's Japan actually. I think, if memory serves,
The Philippines.
But I'm
It was a
older than
weapon.
dirt. It was a weapon. I think it was Hawaiian.
I thought it was Philippines, but
It may have been It may have been Filipino. But
I'm not that I'm. I'm betting all my money in Final Jeopardy on it, but
it was a weapon. It was a weapon that you could get to come back to. And the Aussies said, "Hold my beer, hold my fastest." And then they invented the boomerang. Yeah.
Well, here's your Weebles. So it's Weebles. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. They look awfully creepy, don't they?
Those look like they're missing something. Look up the haunted house. I had the haunted house. I remember that.
Those guys look like a lot of guys I knew from the comic store.
Yeah, they don't look. Oh, Nerf, that was awesome.
Bunch of guys.
When you could finally play, Mom let you play Nerf basketball inside. That was like so awesome. When you had the world's first indoor. I was like, someone had an idea. Let's just make a ball out of foam. Of course,
I can tell you this: as an '80s kid, you pretty much always had a Nerf football with you. I remember putting a Nerf football in my backpack.
Yes.
And you go around trying to pick up games. Hey, you guys want to play some Nerf?
Yeah, always played Nerf football. Yeah.
Wait, this is a real thing. I thought people were joking about this.
No, the pet rock was real. Yeah.
And it really
Yeah.
made millions of dollars.
Yeah.
it
No, it's
did.
insanity.
You
But
guys
yeah,
were all smoking dope in the 70s, man.
Everyone,
I
everyone
never
except
bought one.
everyone except for me and Klobby.
Indeed.
Klobby, you've never had alcohol, have you?
Not ever.
Not
Well,
either.
I say that,
either.
but I think I tried to sip a beer once, but spit it out. And then there was this one time I'm not sure about because I have a really hot chick trying to make me take a sip of a White Russian that a daiquiri that she had, and I think I was managed to spit it out. But if it got in there, it was,
If you ever want your kids not to drink, gang, give them a White Russian as their first drink. That'll turn them off for sure.
It was a daiquiri, but yeah.
Oh no. Boone's Farm.
Oh God, Steve.
Boone's Farm will do it. I think that's what my parents did to me when I was like 5.
I tried to go professional with my drinking in my 20s, and then I had to tap out at about 24. It really wasn't working for me.
And it probably saved your life.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And I never did any drugs. I was the kid who was like, the whole Nancy Reagan thing worked on me. The first lady's like, "Hey kids, just say no, don't do drugs." And I'm like, "Okay, sounds reasonable to me."
And the frying pan with the eggs, right? Yeah.
I was like, "Man, drugs
Any
seem really
questions?
expensive. That really takes
Any
away
question?
from
Yeah.
my action figure money. I don't think I'm going to buy that."
I had a friend who started drinking pretty young because his dad did. And I remember like on Sunday mornings, and he basically would go buy alcohol and drink it in his car until he got drunk or something because he wasn't old enough to go to clubs. And on Sunday mornings, he would be throwing up and had a headache and be like, "Man, what are you doing?" He said, "Man, I'm having some fun." I'm like, "Can't I just have somebody hit me in the face with a golf club? It'll be cheaper."
Oh God, they sold 1.5 million pet rocks at $4 each. Someone do the math for that one. So that's pretty
That's a
easy
lot
math.
of money.
How about
Yeah, for a stone that cost 30 cents. But I don't know if did they actually what'd they do? Just collected stones, or were they all? Was it a mold? What's the history of the pet rock? I guess in terms of
think-
that. But yes,
was this a spin-off or inspired by the mood ring? Does anybody remember the mood ring? Am I
Yes.
like out aging everybody here now?
I do remember the mood ring, Steve,
Yeah.
because they had a
Yeah, yeah.
resurgence in the mid
Mood
80s,
ring,
Steve.
yeah.
But I don't think they work. I don't think they do. They?
it was a temperature. Yeah, it worked. Yeah, it was a temperature. It would react to your temperature. And I was gonna say it's too. I think one of the reasons the pet rock worked through this design of the box. It's like you think there's something alive in it, right? It's a great design with the air holes there.
Kind of like
Brian's
how
like,
that
you said those are up to snuff. Yeah,
kind of how that Yahtzee guy tricked me into buying those sea monkeys.
yeah.
Oh God, yeah. How about the X-ray specs?
Oh, Steve, I bought everything from the back of it. I'm like an idiot. You know, it didn't work after like the third time. And I have to blame my parents. He keeps giving me 99 cents to scotch tape onto an envelope to send.
Well,
Now, you know what I did
in
get?
in my book, those are good parents.
You know what I did get though, dude? I did get the 7-foot tall Frankenstein one time. And it really
I
was,
remember that.
dude, but you know what it was, dude? It was basically like crepe paper. It was like those, those like foldy kind of slinky looking things from the
Yeah.
from Halloween. That's
Wow.
basically what it was. It was like Frankenstein's head and feet, and then this like,
Yeah, that crepe paper.
window
that-
blinds looking thing comes
accordion.
down. Yeah.
like accordion type. Yeah.
I wasn't terribly depressed, but it wasn't exactly what I thought. It did get hung on my wall though. I can
Okay,
tell
now
you that.
please tell me you bought the Charles Atlas course.
No, Steve,
You
I
got the
did
X-ray
because-
goggles.
Because, dude, I was already kind of muscly when I was like 13, bro. I was playing football in 5th grade, so no, I didn't. Nobody ever kicked sand in my face. I didn't.
I just want to see one of those things. I saw the ads for decades, and it's like it's ingrained in our collective subconscious, But I've never actually seen a real. Probably worth a ton of money now.
I was gonna say, well, and I do know for sure they were real because he made a ton of money with them. So
Yeah, he did. And it's funny
I think he actually marketed that himself. I think he created and marketed and sold it himself. Probably even printed it himself. Now I don't physically like with a printer, but you know what I mean. Like
He did weights. He didn't really do the thing that he sold, but he needed an angle. And he was used by sculptors in the New York area after he moved there from Italy. And he started making some money. And then I believe that I think he started the idea of self-publishing and then got like bought out pretty quickly. So yeah, but the thing is that, he didn't look horrible, but he was, he was no like Steve Reeves or,
Right.
I mean, there's a dozen, you could throw a rock. Any one of us right now could throw a rock and probably hit 10 guys who look better than Charles Atlas.
Well, I bought the Sea Monkeys. No, I remember the Sea Monkeys. Yeah, Jay. Where we all
Hey, with the
anyone who had
monkeys.
comics, the Sea Monkeys.
Favorite
Yeah,
monkey around.
they were just shrimp, weren't they?
Yeah, the
just
little brain
shrimp.
shrimp.
Brine
Hex,
shrimp,
not
yeah.
only did I buy the sea monkeys, I actually bought the little tank for them to live in with the little magnifying glasses on the side.
Oh God,
Oh man, yeah. I had an ant
how
farm
big
and
did they
everything
get?
as a kid. They didn't, but they lived for about 3 or 4 weeks.
3 or
You
4
could order
weeks, yeah.
more. But
You order
Mark,
more,
they didn't
yeah.
look like the sea monkeys on the side of the box. Like a
They didn't
tray.
have a Triton. They didn't hold a Triton. They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't come with the trident. Or
Yeah.
for some reason, elfin looking like booty shoes. Yeah, they didn't have those either.
Yeah, they didn't have those either.
Because
Yeah.
you really need shoes and flippers. That go over your flippers when you're a sea monkey. So.
Okay, so all right, so I know Klobby can sing the HR Puff and stuff. Jonah Hex is calling out our childhood here.
HR Puffin stuff. That's
Who's
the
your
one part I
friend
can
when
remember.
Things get rough.
Rough. Yeah.
HR
Big
Puff
Puff
and
and
stuff.
stuff. Really jerk off.
Can't do
Almost
enough.
went to my. I have very vile
do
lyrics
your-
that I gotta
Don't
stop.
do the vile version.
Lights it
Oh,
up.
Wow,
man.
Klobby
Oh,
has
man, I
the
stopped
bad
myself.
portion of the bad rendition of every song.
I have an evil, very filthy version of that one. I had to stop myself. So.
I actually have an HR Puffin stuff action figure, gang.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Wow.
No, yeah,
It's not an
Lidsville now?
ori-
How about
It's something they
Lidsville?
made like 5 or 6.
How about Sigmund the Sea Monster? So go ahead.
Yeah, that's another one that Jonah Hex. Which one was Johnny Whitaker in? Remember from
He was
Sigmund.
the boy with the
Sigmund the
flute
Sea
for
Monster.
Sigmund, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think so, yeah.
No, wait,
was-
no. He was with HR Puffin stuff, right?
HR Puff and stuff.
think
No,
so.
that was the little English kid. And
Yeah.
Witchy Poo.
Witchy Poo.
Wait, who was
Witchy
the one
Poo,
that
yeah,
was the
Witchy Poo,
Artful
yeah.
Dodger?
That's
What?
the Artful Dodger. That's
That's
Dickens.
they think of
That's,
Dickens.
Not
Jack
Tell Two Skitties. That's
Whitehall, something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. The only thing I know that from is Oliver Twist.
Steve, that guy could drink, bro. He started drinking when he was like 9 or something.
Oh,
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
He had a really rough life. The kid that played the Artful Dodger, Jack something. That was on.
I don't know the Artful
I know-
Dodger from only. I only know that from Charles Dickens. From,
Yeah, but
Right.
you're probably talking about the movie Oliver that won Best Picture one year.
The
when they did
kid
the
that
Oliver
played-
movie.
the musical.
Yes,
The one that won
movie.
Best Picture, back in '68 or '9 or whatever. Yeah,
Oh God! Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
that's true. I know what you're talking about. That kid was on one of those Sid and Marty Krofft shows.
Yeah, he had the
was
magic
in-
flute. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Sid and Marty Krofft.
That-
That's who. Yeah, that's who
Yeah.
it was. What's Lidsville?
Lidsville was
Hungry
before. It was the
Boys,
first one that had, Lidsville had. It had who was Charles Nelson Riley was on there, wasn't he? Hungry Boy, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's
It was
right.
That's right.
The place of the hat. and
They
stuff.
let him around kids. Boy, that was
Oh boy.
Wow.
Yeah, but
yeah.
he but Lidsville was before it was the first show that I think. I mean, you all know I've mentioned this before. Sid and Marty Krofft, of course. Later they did Far Out Space Nuts and they did some cartoons, but they also did Banana Splits and
That's right.
You know,
George
what is
C.
the-
Riley was in Lidsville.
yeah. But
Yeah,
did you
he
know
was-
that?
I'll make a
Charles,
up.
Did you any of you know that they had a theme park? They had an actual. They were trying to be the next Disney with the Sid and Marty Krofft land, and it was in downtown Atlanta.
Really?
This was in the
Wow.
'70s. Oh, it was the big ads for it and all the. Remember those magazines you got in the was it those books that we would get in school and Scholastic? Like was it Pizzazz and Dynamite?
Oh yeah, Dynamite.
Also,
Yeah, I remember
ads and all that
Dynamite.
stuff.
Yeah.
So in the late '70s, didn't last long now, but in the late '70s, for a couple of years, it was they were trying to make an amusement park. It had banana splits rides and remember these Electro Moon and Dyna Girl? That was another show they did. They had
Yep.
rides for all the shows. They had Lidsville stuff. They had Sigmund and the Sea Monster stuff, Puffin stuff, and they had all these big rides and stuff. And
Okay.
they had it in a really bad area of
I was going to
Atlanta
say
downtown.
downtown Atlanta's a pretty rough place.
Well, so the thing is, I can't tell you exactly. You can barely
not
find.
back then.
You can find pictures, but not many online. But you can find some pictures. Anyway, what I'm saying is, so in 1990, it was long gone, right? In 1990, we went to a con. This is the second time we got to meet Jack Kirby, which was held at the World Convention Center, right, and CNN Plaza. That's what CNN was. There was still there in the mall next to CNN right there. There were still some of the pieces of the rides and props and stuff and everything, and some of the stuff that didn't get taken away. Stuff was left at that point, and it was weird. But yeah, it didn't last long. But not too many people knew about it. Even I guess that's why it didn't last long. But they say it was a kind of a crappy area back then. The area was terrible and run down back then, and people. But he tried. They wanted to make it the next Disney.
God bless him.
I heard that I was gonna say the ride that just got dismantled, Splash Mountain, because of a Song of the South. I heard originally that was a lot of the stuff for that ride was taken from another amusement park in the South, and they repurposed a lot of the decorations and some of the gear to make that ride. And of course now that's gone. Yep. And Jonah Heck says, his mom was a TV actress in the 70s, so he met a lot of stars and celebrities as a kid. And he met William Shatner in 77. That's awesome. Yeah,
and he met Charles Nelson. He met Charles Nelson Riley, and he still hasn't recovered from that.
The world of Sid and Marty Krofft, by the way. Sorry.
Does anybody remember, since we're doing these kid shows, does anybody remember Lancelot Link?
Oh yeah, Chimp.
Yeah, Secret Agent Chimp, right?
Secret Eye or Private Eye or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle Hour?
Oh yeah,
that's familiar. That sounds familiar. Yep.
What about Clutch Cargo?
Oh yeah, the fake lip
cargo, dude.
Yep. Oh yeah. That
real quick before Mark transitions, was there a Cinemark?
Wait! Mark's transitioning and nobody told me.
Oh man, you're gonna do that.
It is. He won't give up the Bud Lights. He says he just.
Sorry.
I'm never gonna like new Star Wars. I'm not gonna transition to that. It doesn't exist yet.
I'd be happier if
with
you did the other
Pyle and Ruth
the other meaning of the transition.
Oh, here we go. Here's the amusement park one.
Nobody remembers this in the entire universe.
I don't remember this.
That's what it was supposed to. Lidsville. Look at that. Look at it. And let's look.
Wow.
Look at CNN Plaza. They still see this big globe thing up there. That was still up there for years.
Oh wow!
The world
That's
is
amazing.
Marty Krofft.
That's a trip.
Look at some of the
It must be
rides.
hard to move
I've
that
been
stuff
there
there,
actually
guys.
in Atlanta.
Huh?
They're just now getting rid of the stuff from Jazzland because they're redeveloping.
Jazzland stayed up forever because they're redeveloping it. But they make movies out there though. They're bringing something back out there though. They're trying to put something out of Jazzland now.
Yeah, Drew
Everyone
Brees
knows
and
doesn't
a
know
new
who that
project,
is.
Yeah. And they're making some kind of sports training complex and
It's not a good name though. Lidsville. Lidsville is not a good name though.
This is going to sound.
Let's put
really
a lid on it.
This is going to sound really out of left field, but I will bring it back to this. Did anybody see the Comedy Central roast of I think it was William Shatner? No, of Charlie Sheen.
No, but I heard about it.
Okay,
probably not, Steve. I'm not big on roast. Steve Martin.
This one was really funny. So one of my favorite comedians who unfortunately died, a guy named Patrice O'Neill, was hysterical.
I love Patrice O'Neill.
He was on Opie and Anthony a lot.
Genius, yes.
Yeah, brilliant. He was a genius. Well, the host of the Charlie Sheen roast was the guy from Family Guy,
McFarlane.
Yeah, and Patrice O'Neill comes up and says, your problem is that you think you're bigger than the cartoons, and you're not. See, your problem is you need another guy like the South Park guys or like Hanna-Barbera to slap you around and say, But anyway, it occurred to me you had Hanna-Barbera, Sid and Marty Krofft, You had Lou Scheimer and who's the guys that did Shazam? Lou Scheimer and
Lou Scheimer. Yeah.
and Norm
Norm something.
Prescott. Norm Prescott.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was always teams of two guys that made all these kid shows.
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought it was interesting.
No, it was. You're right.
Clearly, that was
Well, why
a
not
swing and a-
three, right?
Hanna
Three isn't too
Barbera.
many.
No, you're right. Hanna Barbera.
Right. Yeah. Sid and Marty Krofft.
Yeah.
Roy and Walt Disney.
Did anyone ever go to CNN Center when it was still there?
You're right. You're right about that.
Right?
Roy
I mean, they
Disney.
were a duo, right? I mean,
Walt screwed him over. Originally, it was the Disney brothers because without Roy, there would have been no money. Roy found all the money, and then once it made money, Walt said, "Oh, I'm calling it the Walt Disney Company. Screw you." It's like the Stan Lee of anyway.
Yeah. Look at all these ads for Sid and Marty Krofft, World of Sid and Marty Krofft, man.
it only lasted
Nobody
1
remembers
year.
this? Think
That was
so.
only 1 year.
Look how crappy it was. I mean,
That
look at this here, and then look, they just replaced it with CNN right in it.
I've been to the CNN building, in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Well, when we went there, there was like there were still pieces of it. That's what it was supposed to be right there. The Lidsville and all this.
But it opened though. You said it opened?
Yeah, it did. It was 76 or 7 or something like that. 76, 77 maybe.
You know who is a great great channel is it's called Defunct Land, and they have all the everything that closed.
Oh, yeah.
in Park One. So that's a great channel to check
That guy's
out.
very- Mark, did you also go to Coke World?
To what? What?
Did you go to Coke World in Atlanta while you were there? Because if you went to the CNN building and you went to Coke World and you had a $9 hot dog at the Varsity and you went to a Braves game, you've done everything you could possibly do in Atlanta. You could just tap out and go home. There's like 4
I
things
went to
you
a
do in
hockey
Atlanta.
game too. I went to a hockey game too.
There's no hockey team in
Is
Atlanta.
it hockey in Atlanta, or is it where did I go to see hockey?
Oh, they don't have hockey.
No,
They don't.
they used to a while ago. It went to Edmonton.
Okay.
Joseph.
This was in the
Dredd, too.
'90s. I was there in the '90s. Who
Oh,
played
they had a hockey team then. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to see the Rangers play. And the tickets were like $30. I couldn't believe it. I was like in the front row practically. I'm like, these tickets in New York would be $500.
Now you know why Atlanta doesn't have a hockey team anymore because nobody went.
Yeah.
Joseph.
Yeah,
Dredd.
what were they called? What was
Kudos,
that team? What were they called in Atlanta hockey? What the heck was?
I didn't even know they had one. I don't know much about hockey.
The
but-
Thrashers, Atlanta Thrashers. Yeah.
If you say so, I never heard of them.
Oh, wait, no, I
Who
went
were-
to see him.
Who were the Whalers?
Yeah, 2011. Well, that was Hartford Whalers. Yeah.
Okay.
Hartford.
Was it
the
a pro
Whales.
team or a semi-pro team?
No,
they were
NHL, no.
buddy. They were big.
Wow. Okay. Really
Yeah,
still have them?
I used to go see him once in a while. Yeah.
Now you got to go to
Thrashers?
Tampa Bay to see a hockey game.
Oh, so they became the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, and I should know that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they left Atlanta. Yep.
Yeah, we'll never get a hockey. We're getting a semi one here in town where I am again, which we've had before, and for some reason I don't know why, but
Oh,
semi-pro.
Bobby, did you see that? By the way,
What?
there's a group of millionaires in New Orleans that's trying to get, like, they're talking about in like 3 years they're going to do expansion. They want to do either 2 or 4 more teams for Major League Ball, and they're going to try to get somebody.
Baseball?
Yeah, and to come out to, are you
Oh,
ready for
never
this?
happened.
Where Zephyr Field is. I'm like, are you guys on crack? I've seen better college. LSU plays on a better field than this, and the Zephyr Field's not bad, but it looks like a junior college field, for God's sake. Still got it.
They've been gone for a while, haven't they? The Zephyrs.
Well, they
Hey,
became
Princess
the
Fiona.
Baby Cakes. They became
Princess
the Baby
Fiona.
Cakes, and the Baby Cakes left about 2 seasons ago. So yeah.
Okay. Hey, Princess Fiona, what's up? The Thrashers, first woman NHL player ever.
Goalie or
Okay,
wait,
guys.
remember
A
that?
woman?
I get the hint, guys. You want me to leave because when the sports ball comes out, it's like, all right, we're tired of Steve.
No, it's not a ball. It's a puck. Sorry.
The puck.
Hey,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Fuck you.
Hockey puck.
Steve, I'm
Sorry
talking
about
more.
that.
This is more New Orleans politics here, brother,
Wait a minute.
than anything.
I just never. People playing games with each other and then sitting in the third person position watching other people play games. it just bores me beyond anything.
You
I
sound
can
like my
imagine. So I
dad.
think I will
He would
tap
always
out.
say that.
Well, he was
No,
a
we're not
very
talking-
wise. He was a very wise man.
But don't let us scare you out. We only talked about it for
Yeah, we'll
30
go back to Geek.
seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I did want to know what she says it was a female hockey player. I don't. When did that ever happen?
Maybe play goalie or.
I
I
don't
remember my
know.
dad telling me
Fiona
like
said
his
so.
uncle asked him to go to a soccer game, and he's like, I'm not going. I was like, why do I want to waste my time watching people play play a sport? He's like, yeah. He's like, it's a
Yeah.
waste of time.
He's a very smart man. I mean, if playing it is one thing, you know, if we're old now, so watching us play football would be hysterical. But
Yeah, roll out the stretchers, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Well-
you know, I mean, it'd be like watching it in slow motion. But you know, that I would be up for. But I've never understood watching other people. You know, the reason why we have a weight problem in this country, the reason we have an obesity epidemic, is because on television we watch other people playing cards. I mean, is there any way there could be less movement going on
Playing cards?
Yeah, you know, like the World Poker Championship or whatever. Like these people are just sitting there, and the most red hot action is when they bend the end of the card up to
No,
look and see
Steve.
what their hand is. You know?
We have a weight problem because the lines are too long.
The lines?
No,
Yes.
we have a late
Now,
problem because
now
food is
you
too
see Mark
yummy.
showing Hungry Hippos? I had this
Yeah.
friend. Are you ready for this? I had a friend that said, man, I wish we could play Hungry Hippos, but there's only 3 of us. And I looked at him and I'm like,
Are you saying, Steve, that you wouldn't watch us play Hungry Hippos?
if Dad Man was here, he'd have to watch because then we'd have an odd man out. But Steve could play winner. So
If
you can actually, you know, if you're coordinated enough, you could play two hippos at once if you're really good.
that you'd have to be
Hungry
really
boy,
good.
cut
I'm
it
too
out.
dyslexic for that.
What is wrong with you?
What did he do?
He wants to get you started again. Stop it.
Is he talking about sports again?
No, just I'm going to say it. You have to find it for yourself. I don't want to even get started.
Time to debate Synod Inking.
I would rather debate Hungry Hippos. Actually, that game, I'll tell you, anyone who sits around watching people play Hungry Hippos is nuts. I'm just going to say, because you know those hippos aren't hungry. Look at them.
Well, you know, when Stanley invented Hungry Hippos, he thought,
He
you know,
said, "My goodness."
I looked around and there wasn't. Well, to turn into Gilbert Godfrey, both of us. Man, it's like Gilbert Godfrey.
He said, "Hey, Steve, how about we do a game called Hungry Hippos? I know we don't work for a game company, but we make comic books, but that's okay because I'm Stan Lee and I can create anything, even creating things." So yeah, why is this game on here, by the way?
Is there? Well, it's the top 10 toys of the 70s. I think they're saying.
Okay.
I'd only play
according
Hungry
to
Hippos
survey.
if you let me be the green one because that's my favorite color.
Are there professional Hungry Hippo leagues? I want to know. Ants in the Pants. Remember that one?
No, but there is a tournament for air hockey though, dude, where you can win like $500,000.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I would play air hockey. I don't know if I'd watch Steve and you play it or anything.
What if I let you play winner?
Well, yeah, of course.
You got to put your quarters on the side of the thing if you want to play. That way, you hold your spot. I remember Ants in the Pants.
That was a good game. Yeah. What's the number 10 game?
I don't remember that.
Oh,
What do you do?
Baby
Throw
Alive.
the ants? That's a game.
Yeah, you push down on the back of the ant here, and there was like they would jump up and they would flip up, and you try. It was kind of like quarters for kids with ants, and you try to get them into the pants.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it would.
But
it
no,
would
the
flip
other
up.
one, Baby Love, that's a game.
Baby Alive. No, it was Top Toys.
Baby Alive.
Top Toys.
Baby Alive. Yeah,
That
you
was
can
the
feed
thing.
that baby.
That was popular. Yeah,
It was
that was
scary.
That
It was alive,
popular.
and it might try to kill
Yeah,
you.
with munch. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was. Yeah, and it would. Didn't it poop too as well?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
churn it out.
My
Yeah,
sister had one.
the baby would take it in one and churn it out the other.
Holy crap!
They were selling 1 million of them a
Literally.
year. Yeah. Oh God. Well, let's see what the '60s toys. Let's see, classic '60s toys. Since we're going through the list, let's see.
Mark, can you beat a
Oh,
Rubik's
God.
Cube?
No, I'm not that smart. No.
Okay.
So I don't even have a list of
You probably
classic. I bought the book to solve it, and it was such a.
Sound like nobody ever solved the Rubik's Cube.
You got to be a mathematical
I think Rubik's did.
genius. Yeah.
Jared did on the Pretender
No,
episode once in 2
No,
seconds.
you don't have to be a mathematical genius anymore. Somebody has put out a video on how to beat it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Those things even around now? Have you seen any lately?
Oh yeah. I used to work.
they're
I used
still-
to work with a guy that would impress people by he'd say, "Here, mix it up as much as you want," and then like a minute later, he'd have it. He'd have it solved.
It's a pattern. It's a pattern, isn't it? I mean, it's just
yeah. It's
I'm trying to
pattern,
remember what it was. There was a book that I bought that had it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
With cheat codes.
Oh, so Princess Fiona says she picked up sports from her bar trivia team. She's a science ringer, of course. Yep. But you end up learning a lot about other stuff too. Yep. I can imagine. Yeah.
Man, did anybody see that Barbie trailer about talking about toys? That trailer for the
I
Barbie
did not
movie?
see it. No, was it funny?
It
or was it
almost
bad?
looks funny. I mean, the
It
movie
almost
almost
looks
looks funny. I've got to say, they're
All
gonna be
right.
making. I mean, it's. Yeah, I got to say. I mean, I don't know. Margot Robbie's fantastic either way. I mean, let's face it. You win getting to look at her as Barbie. But it kind of looks like they're gonna be. It's gonna be a lot of humor in
A
it.
spoof, yeah.
I
That
don't
should
know.
be good. Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to rush out to go see it when it comes out. I'm saying, but I can see how fans of the Barbie, like little girls who love, or ladies who had Barbies as kids, would definitely want to see it, and other people might see it for the comedy aspect. It looks kind of amusing.
So weird with movies now. Kids have a lot of good stuff now, a lot of cool stuff. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if you guys used to do this, but I remember like after seeing a movie with my friends, we would look at the posters of movies coming soon and like make plans like, oh, this movie's coming out on June 16th. Let's make sure we go see this. And I mean, you go see a movie once a week, if not more. I mean, in the summer.
Oh, we used to
Like,
see a
I'd
movie every
4 or
week.
5
Yeah.
movies. The dollar cinema. I mean, yeah, $5, you're there all day, dude.
Well, who's going to go see Old Indiana Jones and the Temple of Back Pain?
And the Grand Cracker Hip, yep.
Man.
Dude,
Why
I have to
Silly
tell
Putties
you,
was the 60s, wasn't it, guys?
What?
What's that? Silly Putty?
Silly Putties 60s or 70s?
oh
I thought
no,
60s
it's
maybe, but 70s.
Yeah,
Easy.
it's the 6. Silly Putty's old, Mark.
Maddie
Old,
has
right? Yeah.
Maddie has Silly Putty.
Yeah.
Do you let her take the comics from the Sunday papers and
That's what we used to do.
they
From
go
the
for
Sun- From the Sunday what?
Sunday what? Yeah, what is it?
the funny papers.
What's the
guys.
papers? What's the newspaper?
God, I used to love the funny strips, man.
They don't
I'd clip them out like a dork. I'd like get warm
Yeah.
and stuff.
They still make them, but nobody has a newspaper subscription anymore. Do you, Mark, still?
Yes, I have one. Yeah.
We
But
have
I
just a
don't get-
digital one.
do you
We
really?
used to get the paper twice a week, then we just switched to digital.
I get Wednesday
Because you
and
got the
Sunday,
coupons
which-
on Thursday. Yeah, you had Sunday and then you had the coupons. But
But you guys have to remember,
Oh.
too, I got Mom's 82 and she lives with us, so she really enjoys it. So it means something to her.
yeah,
Oh,
But I
gotcha.
just get the
That's fair
Sunday
enough.
and Wednesday.
Dude, nobody was judging anybody.
No.
No,
Oh,
I'm saying
Silly
it's
Putty
more-
was the
it's more
50s,
important to
guys.
her than- yeah.
We're a bunch of middle-aged men looking at
50s.
toys together. I mean, we're the last people
Yeah.
to judge. They're going to judge anybody.
Ooh,
But
James Bond board
Claudia
game.
and Steve, you guys could kind of like turn your nose down a little bit at the funny papers, though, right? That's not like comic
No.
book level stuff, huh?
No, some of the greatest cartoonists
Superman
ever
was good.
did comic strips.
What about Prince Valiant?
Hal Foster was exactly one of the greats. I mean, hell
Yeah,
yeah. Alex Raymond. I mean, Al Cap, Charles
man.
Schultz. So I
Yeah.
mean, no, there were some cartoon. Look, back when comic books first coming out, that was the gutter that was slumming it. The cartoonists, the guys with the big gigs for the syndicated newspapers, the cartoon strip artists, they looked
That was
down
the
their
big
nose
gig,
at
right?
comics. They were the big guys. They looked down there. They looked down their nose at the comic book artists. That was low rent. If you were
Well-
Al Cap, or if you were Milton Caniff, if you were Alex Raymond, if you were Hal Foster, Bern Hogarth, and those guys, you were the big leagues. And if you were in the comics, you were the chump
Okay.
for a long
Wow.
time.
I
Long-
remember like looking in the 80s, especially like looking through the whole newspaper because like they wouldn't all be on in the same section, right? Like you'd have to go find what was the one where they always had like, the cows mooing at the guys driving by in the cars and the what was that called? They were
Far
really drawn and it was
I don't know. Sounds
oh
familiar.
the famous one is the kid trying to get into the school for the gifted
Yeah, the Far
And the
Side.
Far Side, yeah. Like
Far
you'd have to
Side.
really look for Far Side, or you'd have to look for Calvin and Hobbes. They wouldn't necessarily be on the same page.
Calvin and Hobbes was some of the best art. I mean, Prince Valiant was way up there as well, but
Yep.
that guy that
Yeah.
drew Calvin, even though he hates comic books,
Bill Watterson.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Bill Watterson, even though he hates comic books, guy was a hell of a draftsman. You didn't see it most of the time
Yeah.
until he'd do like the dinosaurs or the fighter jets or something. You'd be like, wow, this guy can really draw.
Yeah, and dude, he was like a true believer too, man. He did not believe in selling out. He would not let them make, because you can imagine like how many Hobbses he'd have sold if he'd have made a bunch of stuff. He wouldn't do it. And then I think like in the late 2000s, the late aughts, he gave St. Jude Hospital permission to make a Calvin one year and a Hobbes the next year, and it made something like $100,000 for the hospital.
They did a movie.
Nice.
Did you know they did a Calvin and Hobbes movie
No, I had no idea.
back in 2013? Apparently,
No,
Huh.
I don't remember that. No.
an animated. It was animated, of course, and distributed by Netflix. It says. Weird.
Huh.
Oh, look at this.
Calvin
This
and
is
Hobbes, the movie.
pretty cool. You can get a printing press for $11.44. Create your own printing shop to make posters. Ideal printing press comes with 2 sets of types of ink, tweezers, printing plates, and much more. So now it's called a computer and a printer. But like, this is like,
Wow, ideal printing.
imagine that. Yeah, make your own. Amazing. Yeah, James Bond
Yeah.
board game, Candyland, Beatles board game, Viewmaster. Yeah. G.I. Joe
Oh man, the big
Barbie.
Jets.
and Lego. Yeah, but Lego didn't have any IP back then. It was just,
That's
whatever
right.
sets they had. Yeah.
And everybody had jaundice in Legoland.
Yeah, yeah. Matchbox Cars, Carry City, board games, trains, talking Barbie, spirograph, cartridges, yeah, telescope, yeah, you're right. All the toys, there's no branding with the toys, right? There's no tie-in to any cartoons or
Yeah.
anything with this stuff. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. So Princess Fiona says Rubik's can be made unsolved by flipping any of the edge pieces. A 3x3 cube must have even parity. So if you flip an edge piece, it makes an impossible pattern. I would love to mess with someone, yeah, that like is really good at Rubik's cube and then mess them up. They probably recognize it instantly. Yeah. That's mean, yeah.
I don't think
That's
Steve
true,
will,
right? It's a pattern.
I don't think Steve will approve of this, but Steve, my first Rubik's Cube came from, are you ready for this? McDonald's. You could buy a Rubik's Cube for like $1 if you bought like a hammer or something. I remember my dad buying me one. I think it might still be laying around here somewhere, but yeah.
Wow.
Anyone know the backstory for Kilroy? Kilroy was here
Yes.
on all the tanks.
Yeah.
All right, Pat, go for it. I can't remember.
It was the backstory of it. It was just, well, we don't really know the back. That's the whole point of it, isn't it? That somebody started doing it, and then people started copying it all over the place, and they would just draw it, and it was all over Eastern Europe, and then somehow, some way, it actually even made its way over to the Pacific at the very end of the war. But I mean, as far as the background of it, that's one of the great mysteries of World War II. We don't really know who started it. We think that it was Patton was Third Army, right, Mark? Yeah, Third
Army. Well,
Army,
during.
And it seems that it was probably started by those guys because I believe it was in West Africa and it made its way to Sicily, and so those are the guys. Your Big Red One folks, all that gang. Yeah, we think it came from those guys that were there for a long time. Because it pretty much made its way, but definitely in France towards the end of the war. 44, 45, yeah.
So it's just a random.
It was something
guy
that just
started
took
doing
off.
it.
Yeah, it was something that somebody did, and then people started copying. It was kind of like in the '80s, drawing a big anarchy sign on something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that too. It was some. Some said it was American soldiers that did it over there, though, or something like that.
Oh, it's almost 100% American.
Probably was that.
If you follow kind of like where it was always Americans that were there when they would find it. So yeah.
Well, I hadn't thought about that forever. Jeez.
Yeah, what was the movie with they were trying to steal the gold? It was Oddball, and Don Rickles was in it, and I think Clint Eastwood was
Kelly's
in it.
Heroes.
Kelly's Heroes, yeah, I think that wasn't that on one of the tanks. That was like one of the Oddballs guys when they left. One of the tanks
Think
had
so.
Kilroy on it. Yeah,
It's a good movie.
that's a good movie. Yeah. Silly, very historically inaccurate, but a good movie.
Yeah.
I like how they made friends with the German at the end with the tire tank. Spoilers. Sorry, if you haven't seen the movie, I think Clint Eastwood's probably the only guy still alive from it, for goodness sakes. You remember Don Rickles in that movie, though? He was like a master sergeant or whatever.
Pretty
He was like
sure.
a payroll guy, yeah.
If I remember, if I'm thinking of the right movie.
Yep.
That was it.
So
Spirograph
Princess
was one of
Fiona
the
says
most-
Spirograph was the most amazing toy ever made. They sell a stupid version of it now. We get hold of an old school one. It's a supply of endless fascination. It was my gateway into STEM. Yeah, I remember playing with that toy a lot. My aunt had one at her house, and you just today we were joking, but earlier I think we just showed one before, but imagine that getting that as a gift today. I mean, you're gonna grab a piece of paper and draw. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it as a kid. Not knocking it that way, but I can only imagine a kid who, if a kid got that today, they would be like, "What? What are you crazy? What are you nuts?" Yeah.
I love stuff like that because as a kid who couldn't draw, I mean, I can't draw worth snoot. But anything like that, also the one where you would take the charcoal and you would basically do rubbings, and you guys remember that? You could have like 3 different things, and then they had one that was like a space one and stuff like that. You just take a piece of charcoal and you do a rubbing of it, and you can go back and color it in and things like that. And do you guys remember too they were like almost like little stickers. They were like appliques or something like that. You take the pencil and you'd scratch it over, and it would come with like a big scene, like the Battle of Midway. It would have like different ships and all. It would be almost like a piece of wax paper or a piece of like thicker tissue paper. You remember those? And you could kind of just scratch your pencil on one side of it, and the other side was the sticker, and you could make like the battles or Tarzan in the jungle. So I loved all that stuff because, like I said, I couldn't draw, so it's my only way of expressing myself artistically.
The Spirograph was fun, but yeah, I just can't imagine a kid getting it.
Get that cool four pin mark. Remember those pins where it was blue ink, green ink?
Yeah, you changed the tip, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 4. I think it was 4, wasn't it? It was 4 like little ink sticks and different ones would come out because it was a pretty fat pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, I got to get to the parade in the morning. This has been a super
time,
amount of fun.
I got PT at 9 in the morning tomorrow because they're closing at noon. So,
what?
Physical therapy.
Oh Lord!
So good luck with that. Yeah,
Memorial Day.
Yeah, it's going good, gang. The longer I'm in it, the better
better
I do. So it makes it worth going. Yeah.
Good.
Well, there you go, buddy. Good luck with
that. Well, no, I want to thank everyone who's being here tonight. Of course, Maddie's daddy. We didn't have Maddie on tonight, but that's okay. We still love Steve. So
sorry,
okay.
guys.
We got. Yeah, we can.
You'll have to do, Steve. I'm sorry, man.
Let's just have to make do. Yep. Have to make do. But and I also want to thank my awesome buddy Clobbering Times. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, and Pat S. Thank you for being here, buddy. Hope you have a good day tomorrow.
It's Han Pat S. But thank you.
It's Han Pat S. Yep. Solo. You're here alone. What's your last name? Oh, Solo.
Oh God.
Sorry. Yeah.
Mark. Let me say this real quick, and I'm probably beating you for saying something for the people out there for Memorial Day, but as many of you know, I've shared different stories about my pops being in the Marine Corps and how huge, I think probably second only to being a father and a Catholic and a husband, the Marines were really an identity for him. And he used to always get upset. And let's be honest here, he'd get pissed off if you would wish him a happy Memorial Day.
Yeah.
He would be like, no, Memorial Day is for the guys who weren't here. You say,
the ones who died in combat.
Yep. But now that Pops isn't here, he didn't die in combat. Thankfully, he did come back to us. But he was in the Marine Corps during Vietnam. So, you can let your mind wander on that. I won't get into stories about that. But I can say, hey, Dad, happy Memorial Day now. He left us about 7 years ago. The cancer got him. So tomorrow, if you're eating a hot dog or drinking a beer, or just taking a day off or doing whatever, just kind of remember you're doing that because a lot
Yes.
of mostly guys, but people, a lot of ladies too. I don't want to take away from anybody, but a lot of men died so that you could be doing that tomorrow. So just think of that just for a minute or two while you're doing that.
I think a good thing to say is never forget.
Yes,
Absolutely. And yes, indeed, Fiona saying that, and Joan Hex saying that there. Rest in peace, Sergeant Damien. Oh, it fell off
Oh,
there.
sorry. Just as you're reading, I was just switching.
Is
Yep.
it
Yep.
Fisick? I don't know how I'm saying it. Fisick.
One-
I'm saying it right. 2000 for Iraq. And rest in peace indeed to him, Jonah Hex.
Thank you
Buddy.
for your sacrifice.
Yes,
sir.
thank him. Thank you all who, man, all those people died for us, dude. Died for freedom.
Yeah, so I'm a scout leader, so we march in the parade, and then after the parade, there's a ceremony that unfortunately not as many people stick around for, which they should. And they read the Gettysburg Address. They read the names of all the war dead throughout history in our particular town. So they go starting with the Revolutionary War all the way to
Wow.
current wars. So they read
Yeah.
all, and so we have scouts that volunteer to read the names of the dead, and then the politicians make very short speeches. It's but just to remember, and then they lay a wreath at the war memorial. But unfortunately, not everyone goes to the that part of the it's the more important part of the day is that ceremony, and they one of our shop teachers made a howitzer. So he fires off a howitzer that he made.
wow.
And he's got it on a trailer. It's a small howitzer. It's
Cool.
and as I won't say his last name, but as he says, it's not a cannon, it's a howitzer. Get that right. So he made like our town's name, like regiment, like a fun. He's a great woodworker, metal shop. So it's on a trailer. And he's got an old Woolies Jeep from World War II that he trailers
That's
it
cool.
over with, and it's a blank he fires. Yeah, but yeah, that's the one
Yes.
part that try to get all the scouts to go to that and
That's cool.
take part in that ceremony. So
Yes.
and then JT Kirk says his great uncle died in Korea. Yeah, it's considered called the Forgotten War, the
Yeah.
Korean War. Unfortunately, yeah, we're getting
Respect to
more
him.
recognition now.
Absolutely.
Yes. Tomorrow, my old principal from St. Bernard Parish will be out in front of the Chalmette battlefield explaining to protesters that this is not a Confederate war burial area. It was the
Idiot
War of
protesters again.
1812. Yes, it was the Battle of New Orleans,
Oh my
guys.
God.
Well before the Civil War, could you not be here protesting? Nobody here is putting up Confederate battle flags.
Idiots.
These guys were Americans, and we're putting American flags here. You think I'm joking, folks? Klobby,
No, I know they
you and
do it.
Steve
Yeah, they're
probably know
jerks.
exactly what I'm talking about. That there's always this group of people that show up and they're like, "It's not the Civil War, gang. This was like 50 years before the Civil War." For God's sake.
These idiots are. I mean, these people are incredibly stupid. They pulled down a Benjamin Franklin statue. And Benjamin Franklin started the first anti-slavery society on this continent. They also destroyed what's the guy's name? The rabid. This guy was a rabid abolitionist, John Brown. Yeah, John Brown.
Oh wow, the guy from
Yeah.
the song. Yeah, that's
I don't
yeah.
know
He was
I don't know about
pretty.
the song,
Yeah, he was pretty anti-slavery.
Yeah, he freed slaves, armed them, and they went and killed
Yeah,
slave owners,
started a revolt.
their
Yeah,
wives, and their little children.
Exactly. Oh yeah. That guy, oh yeah. He was
He was afraid, and these people are pulling down a statue because they are so uneducated,
Idiots.
or not uneducated. They're miseducated.
yeah, or they
True.
don't care. They don't care.
Oh,
Like
no.
exactly, it feeds their agenda. For God's sakes, if Benjamin Franklin was alive, he'd be a big time progressive. You'd love him. I mean, that guy was a weirdo back in his day.
So would Thomas Jefferson. Thomas
Oh,
Jefferson.
they hate him. Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson would be to the left of Bernie Sanders today. So yeah. But in any event, I don't think I've had a relative. I don't know of any of my relatives who ever died. I know I had I think my grandfather's brothers served in World War II. We had an ambulance driver for the North and an ambulance driver for the South on both sides of my family in the Civil War. and I have ancestors that served in the Revolutionary War. Lieutenant Henry Meacham. But I don't have any records of any of my ancestors dying in a war. So I'm kind of happy about that. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, we can't forget that these people signed up knowing that they would probably not come back, or there was a good chance that they would never come back.
Sure. They knew they were facing hardship for certain, Steve. That's without a doubt.
Or you signed up when you were too young, and they just they faked their age or things too. Yeah.
Yeah. That for people who don't know, in Captain America, when he was trying to fake all kinds of stuff to get into the army, people used to do that. People would fake because you could just go down to the DMV and tell them how old you were, and they would accept it, and there's your driver's license.
Yep.
So
yeah, you look at a guy like Audie Murphy, dude, who was rejected by everybody.
What a hero!
All right.
Yeah,
such a hero.
Real hero.
Why is there not a movie about Audie Murphy?
There is.
He made a lot
of Audie Murphy.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And he was in it.
Steve, you're playing with us, right? You do know that, right? Audie Murphy. The only man that can play Audie Murphy is Audie Murphy, sir.
Didn't he play in a movie called To Hell and Back?
I did.
Yeah, To Hell and Back. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Based
he played himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Audie Murphy.
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't see that forever.
He
But
died.
he didn't consider himself a hero.
Jimmy
he died very young,
Stewart.
Steve. Another guy that we lost in a plane crash.
Yeah, Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah,
that's right. Audie Murphy in a plane crash. Yeah. Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
He served?
He flew.
Yeah, Air Force.
Oh yeah.
They said you don't have to,
but he didn't die.
You can make movies, and he said, "No, I want to fight. I want to serve my country," and he did.
Do you know that Jimmy
Ted Williams?
Yeah.
Or was it Ted?
Jack Kirby.
Ted Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Kirby. Yeah.
Great war hero. Yeah. Scotty, Jimmy Doohan. Oh, Christopher Lee. Of course, he was a badass secret agent.
Christopher Lee. Wow.
Christopher Lee.
That guy was a James Bond, man.
Dude, yeah.
He was everything but a vampire killer.
None of them died in action, but yeah.
Oh, you know who else too? You never know by looking at him. Ernest Borgnine was
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And usually people don't talk about it too. We had people on our street that would we kind of made fun of one guy. Like as kids, we kind of teased him. Always kind of wimpy guy, and then you found out years later his wife was a WAC, a Women's Air Corps, and we were like kind of not really mean, but just like, oh, Mr. So and so, he's kind of, what would he? And then you find out he was in the invasion of Normandy Beach. You read in the obituary.
Right. Wow.
Years later, I'm talking, we were like
Right.
10-year-old kids. We didn't do anything, but then years later you find out, like, my God, the guy. But these guys would never brag about it. It's like,
right.
It's like I survived, the long lines at Dairy Queen. I mean, and then you hear about what these people went through and hell and back, because Audie Murphy and
we went through those generations would lie about their age to get into the army to fight in the war, and then we went to people who would do the opposite. By the way, speaking of like history and stuff, I just found this out. I can't believe this. I don't know if it reads or not. I have an ancestor that came over on the Mayflower.
Oh,
I can't
see that, but I know what you're talking about.
I can't believe it.
Wow.
Anyway,
nice, yeah.
But yeah, also, earlier I was talking about. So I'm a big fan of Steve Reeves. Steve Reeves the moment he graduated high school, he enlisted in the army.
Wow.
Went to the Philippines where they called him the White God. He fought in the Layette campaign, but very soon after he got there, he got malaria and almost killed him.
Yeah, we lost a lot of
guys.
People don't talk about that. We lost a lot of guys to malaria.
Yeah. In the Asian theater, Philippines and places like that. So
no doubt.
So respect to everybody who died and everybody who served, especially who died at this particular.
Well, that's what tomorrow.
Right now, it's for the ones who lost their lives of defending freedom.
Yeah,
we owe you a debt can never be paid.
That's true.
Well, that's a good spot to end it, I think. So I really appreciate everyone being here and all those. That was nice at the end to have all those kind words and recollection, and people in the chat have definitely been touched. by people who've lost their lives. So shout out to them and remember them tomorrow. I want to give a. Let's go through who's still in the chat. So I'm seeing Brian Hepburn, Donnie Pearson, Hungry Boy, Jonah Hex, JT Kirk, and Princess Fiona, and the Stream Element Spot are all still in the chat.
Please
I
click
love
the
to
like
scroll.
button if you haven't at this point.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Hit the
please
like
like
button
and
and
subscribe.
and shameless plug. I'm about 40 watch hours away from being monetized. I guess that YouTube lowered it. You can do 500 subs and
Yes,
3,000 watch
crazy. They
hours. So I
lowered the
have
subs.
so I have 1,960, and I wasn't paying that close attention to it. And I clicked on, it came up on YouTube the other day, and it was like, we'll let you know when you can monetize. And I was like, at one point, I was 13 hours away from 3,000. So if you feel like it, do a playlist late, because I don't think you get credit for shorts or live streams. I think.
Okay. But
I
yeah,
think
Mark,
it's-
you're 100% right. If you guys, when you go to bed at night, if you just turn your if it keeps you awake or you like the white noise, let Mark just play on a playlist, or when you go to work leave your computer on or your tablet on and let it play through. We did that with 24, and it really brought his numbers up. So yeah, that's
I used to do that with Klobby's stream.
Oh,
and
thanks.
listen,
Yeah.
if you want to guarantee any channel that will absolutely take any money they get from monetization and spend it on the channel, it's Mark. He will definitely buy toys to make shorts with. So it is imperative that we get him monetized.
We
thank
can
you
sell
for that.
Mark's
Yeah.
toys and cancel the national debt.
Yeah. Well, we're in trouble now. Yeah. And hail to Keely Chow and Ketchow and Roll Tide. So
Roll Tide, Keely.
but we're just rolling on out of here. So but I'm gonna just skim through the list. Yeah, I think I mentioned Jonah Hex and JT Kirk for being here. Thank you very much, Princess Fiona, of course. I don't want to scroll too far back because it's going to take.
Lisa was here.
The chat was rocking.
Lisa was here.
Lisa was here. Polly's Minion was
Lisa.
here.
Yeah.
Hungry.
Picasso was here. Hungry Boy.
Your boy.
Let's see who else. I'm just Donnie Pearson, of course. I'm scrolling
you're-
fast. Phantom Outsider, War of Justice. Oh, and big shout out to Sean Eastep for sending us all that cool stuff. Your Muslim uncle.
Your friend, the alarm clock.
Yo, Harold Ellis was here. Yep, Harold was here. Yep, my buddy Harold. Your Muslim uncle. So I think we got a percentage of people.
Even though
here.
we started on time, we started too late for J-Man. Usually, he could come in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Poor J-Man. He's got to really get up.
J-Man. I'll be hanging out with him tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep. So why don't we go around the horn real quick? I think only Clobbering Times has a show tomorrow. I'm guessing, right? There was a question in the chat.
Yeah. Go ahead. You said there's a question in the chat
about. Oh, sorry, but yeah, I'm like you're psychic. No, if you have a show tomorrow night, so yes. Yep.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'll be on J-Man's channel at 6 Central, 7 Eastern. Doing our Legion of Superheroes, continue our Legion of Superheroes chronicle from the beginning, for the very beginning, both with he and Sean and I, with 3 more issues going in chronological order from the beginning, and which is fun. Then my show tomorrow night, I'll do a Clobby's Comics Classic Comics review. I'll review Marvel feature number 1, first appearance of the Defenders, and then a surprise secret. I'm keeping the secret. I'll review another comic. And we'll just do basic open talk, so geek fooling around. So nothing serious. Just having a little bit of fun.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Nice.
And Pat S is what do you have with 24/7 coming up? Any shows you want to mention?
24 has been doing some pop-ups lately. Check him out. Brandon has started his anime and pop culture series that he's doing on. He's expanding out a little bit. He's doing Tuesday and Thursday nights at 7 Central, and of course the Saturday show. And I just helped Pops out with his Star Wars Day on the 25th. He's got a lot of great videos out there. You guys would all know different people in his chat. So if you want to go back and watch some of this, he did about 5 or 6 different things on that day. And some reviews and stuff, and talking to people with really awesome, both old and newer Star Wars collections. So you can check those out too. Pretty hip.
Excellent. Yeah, just put those in the chat, and thank you for Princess Fiona for playing the streams. And as of right now, I was 13 hours away earlier in the day, and I appreciate you. You know, that's so nice of you to play the channel. Much appreciated. I mean, and now I'm at 2968, so 3000 minus 2968, so that's my birth year, 68. So 32 hours, yeah. But I guess it's rolling, so it goes day by day. So I guess it takes that chunk and it goes back in time. So if I do get a spurt of watch hours within the last few days, that should put me over the hump. So I really appreciate that. That's so nice of you to do. Thank you. So she said she's got 10 computers in the house. Yeah. So
There you go.
I don't know if it goes by IP address or I hope you have a warp core to run all those computers. That might actually be more computers than I have running in the house at any one time. But so that's impressive. But yeah, just so nice of everyone to think of that, and it'd be fun to, hit that milestone eventually. But
Sure, it's an achievement,
yeah.
no doubt, man, no doubt.
Yep. So this is a good quote to go out on. Yeah, good night, all. Remember what Memorial Day is for. And so thank you for that, Joseph Dredd. So yeah, so everyone have a great week. And obviously, as we said, remember it's a solemn day, Memorial Day. It always feels kind of funny going to a picnic and things like that. But
Yeah,
as long as you remember, I think as long as you take the time to remember the people and why that day is happening, then that's what's important. So
and try to remember to honor them by let's all of us get together, try to keep freedom alive. They died for it, and we're squandering it right now. We need to fight for it.
No doubt. Good point.
Keep it going.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Maddie's daddy, Han Pat Solo, and Captain Klobby. Thank you so much, guys. Another great Sunday night Sunday Geekery, and yeah, let's keep our country free and keep it the greatest place in the world. And the testimony to that is how many people are trying to get in here, right? So if it wasn't a great place to be, you wouldn't have so many people coming here for the opportunity that, not perfect, but there's a lot more opportunity in this country than many other places in the world. So that's why my relatives came here. So, but I'm gonna play the outro with the good old Bruise Brothers getting us out of here. So we'll see everyone next Sunday night on Sunday Night Geekery, and stay tuned during the week, of course, for the Clubhouse and Saturday night Star Trek, and look for some toy reviews during the week. And I'm gonna do that Zune repair. Maybe tomorrow night I'll do that early. Do a Zune repair at some point during the day if I've had have the chance to do it. So but everyone just have a special day tomorrow, remembering everyone for Memorial Day, and we'll see you all soon. Take care, everyone.
All right, guys.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good night, Dave C. Good night, Zachary.
It's over. Go home.